And we are live. Hi everyone, this is Chycho. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another live stream. Platonic Blurs, how we doing? And Baby Nights on Twitch. Salute gang. Today is July the 6th, 2025, and we're doing a patio garden live stream. Going in facing the other direction than this direction because I switch it up between here and there, right? So you get a 360 maybe degree, I don't know what you call it, not panoramic, but from both sides. I hope you're doing well. There's so much to talk about. There's a lot going on. First, I got two neighbors going at it with construction sounds. East Coast, West Coast, East and West. Perfect. Thanks, Platonic Blurs. We have construction going on. We got one neighbor over there that's been going at it for a few weeks, and another one over there that's been going at it for a long time. These ones over here are off today on a Sunday, and today is Sunday. So apologies about the noise if it bothers you, neighbors. It's I know how to go like crazy. I mean, I can hear these guys over here are really bad construction people. It's like they're really bad because they're using table saw to cut wood, and they're using it a lot, right? Because if you work at a construction site, when unless it's industrial size or whatever, if you're modifying or upgrading a house or doing whatever renos to a house, you go and cut your wood, and then you go do your work and put your wood in, and you cut per you're going. These guys, I hear them going, oh, I cut it straight this time, yay. So they're like making errors in cutting, where they're cutting it and then going in, oh, it doesn't fit, and then they're coming back and cutting again. So I think they need to learn a little mathematics. My ears are resting today. I know, Elder God. I've been putting up with this for a few months, since why this less streams to a certain degree, right? Free Assange, love the content. Salute Bayonet Fixer, salute Bayonet Fixer on the sensor tube. Salute. What was that popping in? Oh, that's one of my things. Hold on, I just saw it. Shouldn't be. Oh, weird. What is that guy? I have no idea what that guy is. Something's up. Sorry, gang. I'm just looking on OBS. There's something showing me. Do it yourself, red rats. But they're trying to learn, I guess. But man, in Canada, look, a lot of people do a lot of renos in their homes, right? And people do a lot of renovations inside the house and redecorate the house and stuff like that. I wish all those people that occupy their time with their hobby of doing renovations on the house or redecorating the house or whatever it is to the house took 20% of that time, and instead of occupying their hands and bodies and just doing that, they would educate themselves in some economics, politics, and geopolitics. Canada would be a much better place than just all these renovated houses, right? Chicho live. Alanchin, salute. Hope you're doing well. What are they? Well, one house is totally gutted it, rebuilding it. Another one across the street has been going at it for 2 years. Those ones started a few months ago. I don't know what they're doing, man. Some people just redo their kitchens, and I don't know. I mean, the level is this: the construction, the renovation in Canada, the level of how ridiculous it became was that the former Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, right? 3 years ago, this is what the idiot told Canadians to do. He told Canadians it's okay to rack up debt on your credit cards to renovate your home, right? Now, most people, the interest they pay on their credit card, the best you would do, I don't know, it's like 10-12%, medium maybe 20-23%. A lot of people in Canada are paying 28-29% interest on their credit cards. So this is the financial advice that the former Canadian Prime Minister, who was being advised told what to say by the present prime minister, which is Mark Carney, because Mark Carney was doing everything finance related for the previous so-called government, the same damn government, right? He was advised by Mark Carney, the present prime minister of Canada, to tell Canadians to rack up debt on their credit cards to do this type of shit. Yep. That's what it is. Welcome to Canada. Red rat country. Red rat country. Gang, I'm gonna pour myself a Canadian local beer. And Canadian local beer, you can't mess with it, right? Local breweries. Hoyne Pilsner, a Pilsner, straight out of a fridge and straight out of the freezer. Well, a few minutes out, so it's not straight out because I had to get ready for that. And I'm not getting, this is not promotion, this isn't, I'm not getting paid with these guys. And I got myself a nice new bottle of whiskey that I haven't tried. Love the cask finish of the previous bottle we got. But it is, you know, if you're in the sun, it's on the hotter side, right? Whoop. We'll give it a little head. Not too much. Not too much. Lark bark, how are we doing? Salute, salute. Man, everyone, good afternoon, good afternoon. I think even his own mother doesn't like him, Trudeau. He's so salute gang. Yeah, he's the most repulsive type of person, Canadians, that I've come across in my life. Like in university and stuff, I came across a lot of his type in university, and you see him in, you know, certain bar scenes and stuff like this. Not all bars, certain bars. They're gross, right? They're really gross. Golden brown. Baby nice. A few days ago, I watched some of his statements during COVID. Enough to make your blood boil. Yeah, just imagine how I felt for 4 years, 5 years, right? Oh God, I broke my beer-free life to Black Sabbath final performance. No kidding, Elder God. Good on you. You know what? That's a good reason to break the fast, the cleanse. Salute. Alanchen. The shit some people say is sufficiently asinine as to constitute a valid argument for eugenics. The problem is those are the red rats that want to do eugenics to people. Look at euthanasia in Canada. Crazy. Gang. I've never tried this, but it was a cask finish. So now when I'm looking around, I'm looking for cask finish. Strong. This one's 46%. Okay, I've never had this before. I'm guessing some other people might have, right? It's not focusing. 46% anyway. It's Glencadam. Glencadam, I think I've had before. Reserve Andalusia. Oloso cherry cask finish. So it's a cherry cask finish. I don't know this. Right? There's a wasp. Desiree, I love decorating. I do educate myself on politics as well, and it seriously depresses me. Desiree, I agree with you, and kudos to you for educating yourself regarding politics, right? Salute, salute. Chang, salute. Let's check out the bottle. Nice color to it, right? Highland single malt Scotch whiskey from the Highlands, Scotland, Brechin Angus, Scotland. Nice. Lark Park. The political landscape has descended into utter chaos, leaving many people bewildered. Yeah. Let's check it out. Oh wow, smells sweet. Let's check this out. We'll go generous with it. That's a shot at Chycho's house. Ain't patio season grand? Ain't patio season grand? Let's check it out. It smells very sweet. Wow. Salute, gang. Wow. That is one of the smoothest whiskeys I've ever drank. Wow. Or scotch, not whiskey, sorry. Scotch. That is smooth. That is like blows away anything smooth. Wow. Disturbed got booed when they came on. Really? Called him so many nasty names. How come? How come Disturbed got booed? Salbandini, salute, salute. Hope you're doing well. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Oh yeah, let me show you this. Lark Bark availability. How we doing? Lark Bark. The elite are at it again. Disparaging these guys are going on now. Disparaging the 4th of July, but their opinions hardly matter. They don't matter. Like people are in large part in the Western world not listening to the centralized power, or they're listening to it less and less. Elder got Chycho something about singing bombs. Really? Were they pro boom boom, or boom boom, or boom boom, Iran or whatever? I had the opportunity to buy. Oh, let me read this. Plutonic Scotch, a specific type of whiskey that must be produced in Scotland. Okay, so it's cognac and brandy, made from malted barley for single malt Scotch or other grains for blended Scotch, aged in oak barrels for at least 3 years, bottled at a minimum of 40% ABV. Adheres to strict regulations under the Scottish Whisky Regulation 2009, including no added substances except water and caramel coloring for consistency. Cool. Thanks for the info, Plutonic. Pro-Israel. Boo. Fucking Disturbed. Fuck yeah. Salute to the crowd for being on the ball. Fuck Disturbed. Classical, they signed a bomb that was going to genocide Gaza? Holy fuck. Man, in the old days, people would be throwing shit at them. Right? Old metal days, anyway. I've seen people in heavy metal concerts throw things at the band, right? Desiree, you're fun. Thanks. Where was the concert? It was in the UK. It's likely because the elites. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Check this out, gang. The cigars I've been getting since last year and stuff, we've been doing smoking. I'm putting them in these bags, right, with a little package. But I had the opportunity to buy some cedar boxes, right? Cedar boxes. I bought like 6 of them. I went crazy. I bought like 6 of them. One of them was a funerally box, indigenous, carved and painted. So cedar indigenous boxes, carved and painted. One of them was a funerally because we cremated my father. The ashes were still sitting in a box, so I wanted to put it in something more special. So I bought this, and he's sitting in there. So Daddy O's sitting in a indigenous cedar carved, painted funerally. It's a box that holds ashes of someone that's been cremated, right? And I bought a whole bunch of other ones because I want to test them out. Here's one. It's a cedar box, right? It's got indigenous carvings on it, right? I think they burn it like this. I'm not 100% sure how they get it darker, right? And what I did, and then it lifts up like this. So handmade. You know, it's not. I don't think it's. I don't think they're extremely well. How much did I pay for this? I think I paid like $36 for it. $35 to $40 for this. And then what I've done is put the cigars in there with one of the humidor, these packs to keep it moist. And it's you want to age cigars in a cedar box because it ages, right? I bought a really big one too, but I don't think I'm gonna spend a ton of money. I'm gonna experiment with this. I don't think I'm gonna spend a ton of money filling up or getting half the box filled with cigars, because you don't want a gigantic box with like 2 cigars in there to age it, right? Because the humidity will destroy. But this is perfect for it. For a couple of cigars, 2, 3, 4, 5 cigars in this will work. And I bought a really big one for boxes of cigars if I have the opportunity. Okay. And I bought them at the store and I put them in this now. We got another one as a sidekick. Right? So I thought that was cool. Sort of, I think I'm getting back into maybe starting cigar collection, possibly, right? And you put it in like this. So really nice box. Really nice box. I like it. And what we're smoking, Boulevard Royal Corona. We're going big or going home. We're not going home. Well, we are home, so we're going big. We're going strong, Cuban gang. We've seen this label before. It's one of my favorite cigars of all time, right? It's if you're well versed in Cuban cigars, this is a beautiful smoke. Goopli, salute. Hope you're doing well. The creepy singer. Whiskey character. Coffee, toffee, apple, vanilla, stewed fruit, raisins. What is this? Oh my god. By the way, gang, we might have been taken off the shadow ban list on CensorTube for a few. We've been taken off the YouTube censorship or shadow ban list for the last week or so. My whiskey, really cool. So my whiskey is whiskey character, coffee, toffee, apple, vanilla, stewed fruit, raisins. Wow. It's sweet. It doesn't have the harsh finish of a Courvoisier, right? Smooth. Seriously, one of the smoothest whiskeys I've ever, or scotch I've ever had. Fruit is from Spain. The fruit is from Spain. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. There's a reason why the band Disturbed did that song, Stupidify. By the way, regarding being shadow banned on CensorTube, for the last week we might have been taken off the shadow ban list or the censored list, right? Because we're getting a lot of views on CensorTube. We're back to where we were pre-COVID, right? Because as soon as, you know, the COVID tyranny rolled out, we were against it, and as soon as we were against it, we were shadow banned. So about 5 years have been shadow banned, right? So the subscribers have been going down, or just stayed stagnant. The views have been going down and all that jazz. So we've been getting about a third of the views that we were like 5 years ago, right? And followers and stuff like this. But for the last week, we might have been taken off the shadow ban list because we've had, you know, almost 700 new subscribers in the last week, and the views are back up to where we were when we were getting, you know, certain video was going hot and whatnot, right? So we'll see where that lasts. I'm not holding my breath, but hopefully it's a change in perspective, change in understanding of what the game is at play, right? So that's nice. It felt good seeing subscriber count go up and people commenting without their comments being censored, and open discussion going on, which is amazing, because I haven't seen open discussion on CensorTube for a long time. First time chat, Wolf says, how do you cut the end of your cigar? I just bit it off. So what I do, here's the little part I took off, right? Here's the little part I took off, right? You just missed it by a couple of minutes. So what I do, it's a nice cigar, it's moist, so it's not dry. So you wet it a little bit, and then you take the cigar when it's not cut, put it against, open your teeth a little bit, put it against your teeth, and then push it in a little bit, not too hard, just push it in a little bit. You'll feel a little bump go through, and then you bite that off. That's it. Okay. And hello. There's the baby nice. Chycho, can you answer me the above question I asked? I'll be making a lemon liqueur these days. Not sure what to do. Where's your question? Baby nice. Off topic question. Oh, there it is. How did I miss it? How come you didn't peel your lemons when you made lemon liqueur? Were they not sprayed with pesticides, or does the alcohol kill everything? Good question, baby nice. One of the reasons I didn't peel it, because a lot of flavors in the skin, right? The grind is bitter, but it's okay. The liqueur tastes a little bit sharp. That's fine. And you're 100% correct. I didn't peel them because they were organic lemons. I only use organic fruit for the liqueurs. I only use organic fruit. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be using, you really want the flavor of the liqueur comes more from the skin than it does from the lemon itself. But the lemon is really nice to eat, and it does add a certain flavor as well. And if you notice, I don't take out the seeds either. I don't think I do anyway. I gotta check it. So I throw everything in there, and the seeds give it a little bitterness too, right? But yeah, only organic lemons. Okay. It vols. Yeah, loud outside. I got two neighbors on a Sunday doing construction at their houses, and during weekdays there's full-blown construction crew beside us renovating a house completely. So it's like you can't escape it right now at my place, unfortunately. Otherwise, this is like peaceful heaven. Like, it's amazing. And hopefully they'll stop soon. They seldom go all day. I agree that community should put a bylaw saying no construction noises or wind, leaf blower noises or gardening noises on Sundays. Really. But they won't. It doesn't matter. I don't agree with centralized power laws, but I think communities should do it. Peter, how are you doing? Salute. A baby nice. Oh, got it. Thank you. I'll take organic as well. Didn't know that the skin adds flavor. Yeah, the skin adds amazing flavor. And when you're cooking food, with chicken and with different types of stews or certain things that you cook, you can do thin peels. I think it's called rind, lemon or orange rind in your food, and it gives it an orange or lemon flavor. It's really good. Like, take an apple, take a lemon, lime, or an orange, and all of them organic, obviously, and peel off really thin of the rind of the skin and add that to your food. Amazing flavor, like amazing. Evolves, yeah. We'll be super happy when they're done. It's insane. But Canada right now is very crazy. It's absolutely insane, right? They're like everywhere you go, it's crazy. So seeping into your home now, right? That's why one of the reasons I create spaces like this wherever I live, to have a place where I can meditate, right? Calm down, relax, really ground, right? So it's nice. Salute, gang. Elder God, I will call the neighbors. You got about 4 neighbors to call. Thanks. It's weird, and I'm someone that's, our family was involved in the construction business for 40 years. I was involved in the construction business through family for like 20 years, right? And with family longer than that, right? I haven't seen like this. People are losing their minds, so it's weird. Evolves. How does one meditate? Multiple different styles of meditation. Multiple different styles of meditation. You can meditate through chanting. You can meditate through holding a certain type of posture, martial arts type of posture. You can meditate by sitting down, lying down, standing up. You can meditate to music, in silence, through words. So many different types of meditation. You can meditate to going to a concert, meditate to metal, meditate to dubstep, meditate to electronic, meditate to drum and bass. You can meditate to whoop whoop music, right? Bass music, hardcore. Meditate while dancing, get into a trance. Everything, everything. Good sleep, yeah, give you good sleep, gives you good sleep. Gang, I got a couple of charts I want to show you, or not charts but maps. Maybe we'll hear them go, oh, I cut this one straight. I gotta get my cigar going. This rain, magical spot you created there, Chycho. Thank you. I put a lot of love in this. I got lots of different fruits and not, well, yeah, some fruits, lots of berries growing in the patio, lots of herbs, lots of just greenery, flowers, garlic. I just harvested my first onion ever that I've grown. Fantastic. Cut up a lot of garlic shoots. I trimmed all these ones, but here, take a look. Here's a garlic shoot. So I've harvested most of the garlic shoots, and I've been chopping them up, throwing in our food that I'm cooking, frying up just garlic if something needs garlic. Been eating a lot of salad from our garden. Healthy. Economically, personal finance wise, one of the best investments you can make in your life, because it helps you meditate, it helps you eat healthy, stay healthy, saves you a ton of money, and gives you organic food, free food. You're growing money, right? So one of the financial advices I have for people is start a garden, right? Ashcom. Gardening is so regenerative in all ways. That's a great way of putting it, right? Gardening is so regenerative in all ways. Salute to all the gardeners up there, gang. You know where it's at. Too easy to drink. Rod Turner, new listener here. Hello everyone, salutations Rod. Thank you for popping into our live stream. I hope you enjoy your stay. Gang, should we talk about a little bit about geopolitics right now? Ashcom. My garden has literally saved lives of the people I'd otherwise have murdered. Ashton, 100%. And kept you free. My garden keeps me, keeps me as a free human being. Hilarious, hilarious. That's funny. Desiree, hi Rod, new listener as well. And salute to you as well, Desiree. Agent 99, just caught you for the first time recently. You're passionate about ME politics. I'm assuming that's military, industrial, military. I don't know. What does that mean? I know what MIC is. ME politics. Are you ethnically from? Oh, Middle East politics. Middle East politics. What am I thinking? Middle East politics. Are you ethnically from there? I am Armenian ancestry. I was born in Iran, and I've been following Middle East politics for 45 years. Right? I know it well. I know it extremely well. Okay. Alligator, welcome, Rod Turner. Middle East. Thank you very much, Agent 99. I caught on. Might be a little slow, but I caught on. I'm really bad with acronyms and stuff, right? And I'm very bad with names. So apologies if I ever forget your name, right? Baby nice. I feel it takes a lot of soil to have all those plants. Yeah, but you can regenerate. Growing, what do you call it? Cloves is really good. Like I grow because they regenerate the soil. So these things, right? It's weird. I got 5-leaf clovers here too. So can we find a 4-leaf one? There's a lot of 4-leaf ones. So growing cloves is good. It as a soil, you go around and you take out the weeds like this. So when I'm watering and if I'm sitting around in the patio and just looking at the pots, if I see a weed, I just pull it, right? Here. You just pull the weeds, right? What else? Where's what else do I do? Oh, look at this. What's this? No, that's not aphids. What is it? Oh, maybe. Check this out. So I'm going to pull this guy out. Check it out. This is green onions, right? There's a little bit of aphids there, right? Come on, focus. Just focus for a bit. Oh, can you see it? There it is. See those? So when I look around, I could squish these guys. Well, what I do in general, just throw them over the balcony. Right? Usually I would go wash it and eat it, but I'm not gonna go wash. I got lots of green onions growing everywhere. Okay. Daniel, how are you doing? Middle East here. First generation Canadian. Ah, you're Palestinian. Salute to Palestine, man. As the saying goes, free Palestine, free Palestine. And the whole thing with Palestine is more than just Palestine. Even though Palestine, it's like, think about it as like the Irish in certain degree, right? The English, the British Empire tried to genocide the Irish multiple times, and they weren't successful. And Israel's not going to be successful in genociding Palestinians, right? Israel's digging their own grave deeper and 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 deeper. Unfortunately, in the process, the whole region is exploding. As we talked about, since we're going down this road, let's talk about this. As we talked about in our, I'm gonna Irish luck, please. Irish luck, please. Can I find a 4-leaf clover? I got like 5 leaves going on here. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, let's talk about this. And I'm gonna stop reading the chat for a second. That's the blind monks. Daniel, chycho, when's the full beard? Man, it's been meaning to make a comeback. I've been too busy to do it. Maybe this year, we'll see. Maybe this year. So gang, let's talk about the Middle East for a second. Okay, it's going to be more in a second, by the way. Sure. let me get this going, and we'll do it. Let me get prepped. Because I got some maps for you guys to see. And while we're on the maps here, let me do this for you. Here's a link to an article I wrote in 2013. Okay, link to an article I wrote in 2013. Doing. Before we get talking into it. First time chat. Miro Chycho, for the record, you were born in Iran and have Armenian descent, and most of my life I've lived in Canada. My mentality is West Coast Canadian, non-woke West Coast Canadian, true Canadian mentality. I've traveled all over Canada. The only territory I haven't gone to is Nunavut, and the reason I haven't been to Nunavut was because when I was traveling Canada, there was no such thing as Nunavut. Okay, so it was just part of Northwest Territory. So I've been to every province and territory in Canada when there was province and territory. Okay, now let me post a link on BitChute chat as well. Salute Croc on BitChute. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Construction crazy. Canadian with balls. So let's talk about the Middle East, gang. We talked a lot about it during our mapping live streams, right? There's on SensorTube, if you look in the description of the video on SensorTube and on BitChute, there's a link to our mapping live streams where we have talked about what's going on for a number of years, and before that, for 2 years we've been talking about it, but before that we were talking about what was happening and whatnot. And if you want to follow the progression, you'll be prepared for what we are about to talk about. Right? Now, there's genocide going on in Palestine. Zionist Israelis, with the help of Zionist-controlled Western governments, ZOG, okay, Zionist occupied Western governments, is genociding the Palestinian people, and they're now in the process of genociding the indigenous population in Syria, right, through their proxies, ISIS proxies that they installed with the help of Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all of the Gulf states. All of them were really involved, right? So that's what we're in the process of, and we've kicked into the next phase, which is involving the Caucasus, right? Which is what we talked about regarding when we're talking about Armenia and Azerbaijan, the war that was going on there, the ethnic cleansing that was going on in the Nagorno-Karabakh and stuff. If you look at our mapping streams, you'll find out that we talked a lot about that, saying that this area is going to blow sky high. It's going to follow what's happening in the Middle East, and it's just the war is going to expand, which it is expanding right now to a level where Israel was threatening Pakistan. Right? So it's expanding. It's not going to stop. It's just going to continue to expand because why? Because Zionists are genociding the Middle East, right? We're in the process. This is a once in a lifetime for us. If you're 20 years old all the way to 60 years old, this is the quintessential moment in your life regarding politics and geopolitics, because the war is just not contained in the Middle East. It's also a war of the people living in the Western world, in the entire world really, but specifically since I'm in the Western world, I'm going to talk about the Western world. It's a war on us by centralized power that is occupied, right? That is occupied by bankers, by neocons, by Zionists, right? So they're pushing in that direction. One of the reasons, if we're going to talk about why it's being pushed in that direction, is because the economic situations that's happening, and there's a huge economic shift that is taking place that we talked about, that is related, if you want to trigger indicator of what it means, from 1990 to 2020, right? We're seeing shift of global power, economic power, moving from the Western world to the East, right? And the indicator, the trigger for this is looking at electricity consumption in the Western world has fallen from around 50% in 1990 to about 27-28% in 2020, right? And electricity consumption being an indicator of industrial capacity and growth, right? So that laid out right there. Okay, and this war is not going to, the ceasefire with Iran is just temporary. It's a cease in hostilities until other cards are played, right? Just think of it as a chess game that's taking place. We're about 20-25% into the game, right? And maybe it's taking so long that everybody agrees that they're going to take a little pee break, right? And eat a little food and come back at it, right? That's where we are right now. The next piece that is going to be played by the Western world, and actually the piece by the Western world was played a while ago, and that piece is Azerbaijan, right? So the Western world played the Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia card. The Georgia card, the Georgia piece they played in 2008, right? When they convinced Georgia to wage a war on Russia, and that was settled now, where Georgia has now flipped from being a color revolution to being pro-Russia, back to being pro-Russia, its natural state of being, right? Because Georgia can never rely on the United States. Why in the world, if you're in Georgia, would you rely on the United States and NATO and the EU that is collapsing economically to protect you? Protect you from what? Right? It wasn't protection for the Georgians. It was takeover of the European Union oligarchs of Georgia. They tried to play that piece in 2008. Russia stepped in and stopped it, right? And I wrote a piece during that time when I was doing politics. I wrote an article called The Russian Bear Has Awakened, the next phase in the global resource wars and stuff like this. I should have grabbed that article to post it to you guys. That was on my previous article, previous website, where I wrote a major piece explaining how that card was being played, how it was going to fail. Another piece that they played after that was Ukraine in 2014, pre that, but the main play was in 2014, and that has failed, right? Now they played the Armenia card a few years ago, installing Pezeshkian, and Pezeshkian cut a deal with the EU and NATO saying they're going to give up Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, and Nagorno-Karabakh should have been Armenian territory anyway, because it was only during USSR where they did the same thing with Crimea, saying that was part of Ukraine, but it was mostly Russians that were living there, right? They just did it for bureaucratic reasons. That's exactly what they did with Nagorno-Karabakh. They drew the territory as being part of Azerbaijan, but it was all mainly ethnically Armenians, right? With a smaller Azeri population, right? But because it was drawn that way, no one said a peep, while ethnic Azerbaijan with Turkey and Israel ethnically cleansed Nagorno-Karabakh. And that brings us to the discussion of Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan cut a deal with Israel. Azerbaijan is really an Israeli puppet regime, same with Erdogan, right? And they played that card, and Azerbaijan was used as a base, as one of the main hubs of attacking Iran, right? During this 12-day war, as soon as it started, Azerbaijan attacked Iran. Everybody knows this now. Everybody knows this now. Why did it attack it? Because it's Zionist controlled territory, right? Zionist controlled territory, with NATO, EU, and the United States helping them out, especially the UK as well, right? So Azerbaijan was, I've been using the term cancer, but a thorn on the back of the side of the BRICS nations, the BRICS economic alliance, right? That is making, that is trying to diversify themselves from the petrodollar, if you want to think about it, but United States dollar being used as the reserve currency of the world, where all trade is done through the US dollar, right? So BRICS is really an alternative to using the US dollar as a form of trade, commerce between nations, right? So right now, nations are trading in their own currencies, and that connects up to gold and silver and stuff like that. But we'll go down that road, right? So Azerbaijan was in the thorn of the side of the BRICS alliance, which is providing an alternative to nations to conduct trade outside of the US dollar. Why? Because the US dollar was used as a weapon, right? With sanctions and kicking people off the SWIFT system and confiscating people's countries' bank accounts, their gold reserves, their assets, right? So all of this was brought about by the moves in the grand chessboard that the Western governments made. They played that card, and the global majority played, or they moved that piece, and the global majority counteracted, right? And they counteracted by creating the BRICS alliance and diversifying from the US dollar, right? So BRICS is something that the Western world wants to fracture, and Azerbaijan has been a key player in that, right? A lot of people assume that Azerbaijan was involved in assassinating the former Iranian president, but we won't go there, right? So Azerbaijan, in this 12-day war, so people call it, was used as a hub to attack Iran by Zionist Israel, NATO, EU, United States, and the UK, right? Russia knows this. Iran knows this. Everybody knows this. So what happened in the last few weeks is, during the retaliation that Iran made in Israel, they hit a number of important facilities, right? Military bases, the ports, and one of the main ones they hit, which really hit my radar, was the oil refinery in Haifa. Iran nailed it, right? Very important. Keep that in mind. Another thing that happened in the last few weeks was that Russia also amplified their attack on Ukraine, and they also hit an oil refinery in Ukraine. Keep that in mind. Very important. Now, also keep in mind that Azerbaijan has been supplying energy, resources, gas, and oil to Israel through Turkey, and to the EU and Ukraine through Turkey, right? Keep that in mind. Very important. Now, Turkey, Erdogan has this grand design of creating the greater Ottoman Empire, combining Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, all the other stands, right, in Eurasia with Turkey, right? Creating that hub, going through the Caspian. The link that connects them is the connection between Armenia and Iran, right? That's the link that they need to complete. That means they have to genocide Armenians again. They have to get rid of Armenians. Now, Pashinyan, that has been installed in Armenia, is a complete Zionist puppet, is a complete NATO puppet. He's a piece of shit. Most Armenians now have woken up to the reality that Pashinyan is a scumbag. He's a traitor to Armenians, and so are his followers. And at some point, they're going to hang on the gallows if they remain in Armenia. That's my prediction, right? What Pashinyan, the Armenian government, that came about through a color revolution, has been doing in the last few days, they actually attacked the Armenian church, and the Armenian church is what keeps the Armenian identity Armenian. When you attack the Armenian church, now I don't go to church every day. I don't believe in centralized religion. However, the Armenian church is what Armenians identify themselves as being Armenian. That is the link. That is the key to being an Armenian, right? Armenians are the first Christian nation in the world, and we've been persecuted for that for centuries, right? And everybody knows this. How important is the Armenian church? Jerusalem is divided into 4 quarters: the Muslim quarter, the Jewish quarter, the Christian quarter, and the Armenian quarter. Armenians are recognized as the first nation, first peoples to adopt Christianity as their societal religion that brought everyone together, right? And the Armenian government right now, that is Zionist controlled, ZOG, NATO controlled, US controlled, UK controlled, that has decided to attack the Armenian church, which is what it means is they're attacking every Armenian, right? Dangerous game for them to play, right? And they actually, Pashinyan flew to Turkey to meet with Erdogan to join their alliance in condemning Russia, right? Insanity, right? And Turkey is a nation that conducted, with the help of the Kurds and the go-ahead of European regimes, genocided Armenians in World War One. And Turkey still does not accept the responsibility for genociding Armenians. What they actually teach in Turkey is that Armenians were the ones that were attacking the Turks, right? And after the Turks, the Ottoman Empire, the Young Turks, used the Kurds to genocide Armenians as a tool, they turned on the Kurds and attacked them, right? As I've said before, the Kurds have some of the worst leadership in human history, and they do, because they're being used right now to attack Iran. Well, we'll get into that, right? So that's what NATO, Zionist Israel neocons are trying to do, right? Is trying to break that BRICS alliance, also put a hole through the belly of Russia by attacking Iran. One of the main reasons is because Israel wants to create the greater Israel. If you look at the patches that the IDF has on their shoulders, they have the greater Israel map, right? Which includes parts of Egypt, all of Lebanon, a huge chunk of Syria, which they're acquiring now, huge chunk of Saudi Arabia, and so on. They want to create the greater Israel. And the only country that's standing against them, the only major power, there are Lebanon is standing against it, Yemen is standing against it, but the main power that is preventing them from doing this is Iran, right? So by doing that, their design is to do that. They're playing the Azerbaijan card. They played the Azerbaijan card, the Azerbaijan piece in this grand chessboard. What just happened last week is, with Iran hitting the oil refinery in Israel, Russia hitting the oil refinery in Ukraine, and Iran saying to Azerbaijan, you're going in the wrong direction. Russia, the conflict between Russia and Azerbaijan, where Russia right now has arrested a shit ton of the gangsters, mafia that have been operating in Russia, bringing in human trafficking, drugs, crime. They arrested a whole shit ton of them in Russia. Azaris that have been sending a shit ton of money to Azerbaijan, right? They just cut that money supply going into Azerbaijan. Now, keep that in mind. Azerbaijan retaliated by arresting Russian citizens that are living in Azerbaijan and torturing them, beating the shit out of them, and televised this thing. Dumbasses. Keep that in mind. So money supply, money going in from Russia into Azerbaijan has been cut. Ready? Here's a map of the pipelines that are coming out of Azerbaijan, Baku, feeding into Israel, Ukraine, and the EU, right? Because all wars are not only bankers' wars, but also resource wars. You see the green pipeline here going from Baku all the way down to Seyhan in Turkey, right? That's a oil pipeline kicking into the Mediterranean, right? Keep that map in mind. And you see the blue pipeline bypassing Armenia, going through Georgia to Supsa, right? Hitting the Black Sea. Okay, The red one is not as important, but it's still there, going through Russia because Russia controls that. But the blue line, blue pipeline, and the orange pipeline, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, Baku, Azerbaijan, and Turkey have been making a shit ton of money off feeding Israel's genocide, Zionist Israel's genocide on Gaza, with energy, right? Which is something that Israel has been dependent on, because a lot of that oil, a lot of that oil that is going through Baku is also going through the Mediterranean to feed the EU, right? Now, that orange pipeline that was coming from Azerbaijan that was going through Turkey connects up to the blue pipeline, right, in the Mediterranean, from what I understand, feeding into Israel, right? You see that little dot, blue dot, that feeds into Israel? That refinery just got blown up by Iran, right? So that pipeline coming from Baku, the orange pipeline coming from Baku, going through Turkey, hitting a port there in the Mediterranean Sea, right? My guess is, connecting up to Israel, my guess is it's down to a trickle. That means money flow to Azerbaijan. That's another money flow that's been cut. Oh, Azerbaijan. I smell a little fucking burnt. Another Ukraine coming up, right? Now, keep that in mind. Keep this pipeline, the blue pipeline you see going through Azerbaijan, going through Georgia, hitting Supsa in Georgia, right? That connects up to the orange pipeline. It's the color of orange, going through Georgia, coming through Baku, hitting the light blue cyan pipeline, going across Turkey, right? Going across. Oh no, that's a different. No, that is the same one. What's going on? Black Sea. Hold on. Let me change the view here. The maps might not be matching up to. Wow, that looks like a different pipeline, but I'm pretty sure the Sapu one also feeds to the Black Sea, going through Romania. I got a couple of pipelines going on, but that pipeline is going through Cyan. Oh yeah, it's the other pipeline feeding into Europe, right? You see that one? Let me bring up the other pipeline. I grabbed the wrong one. Doink. That's the one I was talking about. That's the one, that one. And here we go. See the White Stream pipeline, right? That's that Baku one. They're all black in this one, and then there's dots going across the Black Sea, hitting into the west coast of the Black Sea, and then going up and going into Ukraine. The refinery in Ukraine got hit as well, right? So that pipeline coming from Georgia as well, my guess is the blue one here is also down to a trickle, right? Down to a trickle. So what we're seeing right now, that's three sources of energy, money going into Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan is a complete dictatorship. Azayev, or whatever the hell his name is, the clown, that's, what is it, 6'8" tall, whatever he is, right? Total dictatorship, right? They're going to be cash strapped, so they're going to be tightening up. They're going to get their secret police kicking in and stuff like this. So there's going to might be a little bit of turmoil in Azerbaijan. Now, keep that in mind. Also recall that Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Israel's war on Armenia in Nagorno-Karabakh, where they ethnically cleansed Nagorno-Karabakh, a lot of the fighters on the front lines were ISIS, right? There were Islamic fanatics that were used to kill Armenians, right? To ethnically cleanse Nagorno-Karabakh. What's happened since the Nagorno-Karabakh war, the last war that happened, where 120,000 Armenians were ethnically cleansed from the region, that flooded into Armenia? A lot of those fighters have been sent to Syria. They're replacing the indigenous population in Syria, right? So a lot of Islamic fanatics that were used to ethnically cleanse Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh have been sent to Syria. A lot of the Islamic fanatics that have their base in Turkey, right? They're a huge influence in Turkey, are also active in Syria. A lot of the Islamic fanatics that were also active in Russia and now are in Syria. A lot of Islamic fanatics that were also active in China, they are now also in Syria as well. And the Syrian regime dictatorship that has been installed in Syria, one of the things that happened during when Assad went to Russia and Syria was taken over by ISIS, Israel they conducted hundreds of military airstrikes. They took out military bases, but they also took out the bureaucracy, the records of Syrian governments of who was born there, who are citizens, right? So all the documentation of who really is the indigenous population in Syria was eliminated by Israel, right? Why did they do this? Because right now the Syrian regime, the ISIS fanatics that have taken over Syria, they're giving citizenship to all the Islamic fanatics that are coming out of China, that are coming out of Russia, that are coming out of a huge part of Eurasia, making their way into Syria because they believe they've created their caliphate where they're going to establish an Islamic state, right? Remember, the high ups are really just neocon Zionist puppets, because ISIS has never attacked Israel. The one time that they attacked Israel, they apologized for it and they said it was a mistake. Remember that Zionist Israel was arming, supporting, training, providing logistics, and also providing medical attention to ISIS fighters in Israel, right? So that is really a Zionist installed regime that has taken over Syria, right? And they're going to be used, and they are being used, to wage war on Iran. So that's another front that is being waged on BRICS alliance. Azerbaijan being one, the other one. There's multiple ones. Turkey is another one, of course. Turkey is part of BRICS as well as what do you call it? One of the sitting nations. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a full-fledged member yet, right? So this Iran war, the battle that is taking place, okay, this is, as I said before, is the war of civilizations. China and Russia will not allow Iran to fall, and Iran will not fall. In my opinion, the country right now that is in most danger of a regime change is Azerbaijan, okay? Because right now, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen Iran play their next piece, Russia play their next piece, and both their pieces were in sync, and both their pieces, part of their pieces, their movements, the effects of that is hitting Azerbaijan, right? So extremely important period, very interesting events taking place, the attack, the retaliation of Iran against the war of aggression that the United States and Israel conducted on Iran, the so-called the beginning of the 12-day war, where they used car bomb stuff, when they tried to do a regime change on Iran. It failed. Russia and Iran knew what was coming. They underestimated the brutality of the neocons and the Zionists, because they have a moral solid foundation, while the Zionists and the neocons have no moral limits, right? They didn't expect them to use car bombs to take out buildings and kill families in Iran. What that did was solidify the power in Iran, and Iranians are fucking pissed. They are so pissed. They're backing the regime now, they're backing the military now, and we're this close from, if there's another attack on Iran on that level, of the Iranian government calling it full-on war and giving the signal to the resistance to play a grand move, which will also involve shit blowing sky high in Azerbaijan. And if Turkey decides to step in and they still believe that they can create the greater Ottoman Empire, Turkey, remember, is a Zionist puppet. If they step in and they attack Iran, because the Kurds are involved as well, right? Because Zionist Israel and neocons and the EU and the UK have been arming the shit out of the Kurds, and they've convinced them that they can build a country by carving out a piece of Iran. But Turkey is going to think twice about that. If they attack Iran in collaboration with Azerbaijan and the Kurds that are going to be triggered, right? If Turkey has an ounce of intelligence left, if the Kurds attack Iran, Turkey will also attack the Kurds. That would be my guess. If they join the Kurds in an attack on Iran, the Kurds after that will be annihilated from the Middle East. They will be. They will do to the Kurds exactly what they did to the Kurds when the Kurds were used to genocide the Armenians. But if they do that, Russia and Iran will literally send Azerbaijan to the Stone Age. They will seriously hurt Turkey, and the Kurds are going to get fucked so hard they'll think Zionist Israel forgot to lube them before they spank their ass. Okay, that's where we are right now. I wanted to give this little summary intro because it sort of connects up to the mapping live streams we've been doing. And if we're in front of the map, I'd be pointing all these fingers and have the maps overlaid. But we're in the patio garden. I think it's nicer to be in the patio garden than to be out in front of the map. But we will hit up the map at some point. Okay. I'm gonna get back to the chat, gang. If I missed anything, please let me know. If there's anything directed towards me, please let me know. Okay, please let me know. I'm all the way down the bottom of the chats because I won't be able to catch up with the chat up top. Miro, Chycho, don't forget nearly every third Iranian citizen is Azerbaijan. Yeah, Azerbaijani, right? But they're not Sunni, they're Shia, right? And Azerbaijanis in Iran have no desire to be part of Azerbaijan or to be part of Turkey, right? They don't. How do I know this? My father was from that region. My father spoke Turkish, Farsi, Armenian, English, and a little bit of Russian, right? Azaris in northern Iran, right, have no desire to be part of a greater Ottoman Empire. None whatsoever, and they are Sunni. Okay. The ISIS fanatics, they're Shia. So they think, right? They're really Zionist neocon puppets. Okay. Pink Cupid, would Russia and China need Azerbaijan to create a supply chain to Iran? No, they can go through Armenia. Georgia has already flipped over to Russia, so all they need is Armenia. But Azerbaijan, once the dictatorship is removed there, is going to flip to China and Russia. That is natural ally, right? That's a natural ally. I can't pronounce your name. I'm assuming that's Russian. It's sad that Christian nations have to fight between while we have a bigger problem and threat, right? CTE, Georgia is an unstable nation currently. Also, it is unstable. It's stabilizing. It was unstable, right? Most Georgians now agree that for them, waging a war on Russia was one of the dumbest things they could have ever done, and they realized that the leaders there at the time were just EU puppets. Untold misery. Chycho, sending blessings your way. When are you going to do some more street math? Oh, street math wizard ways away right now. maybe next summer. I was hoping to do maybe begin a little bit this summer, but it's not going to happen because of family and family first, gang. Family first. What games have you been playing recently? No games. No games, Dr. Rawls. Jesus Medax. Moldova and Romania also potential conflict regions in the future. Yeah. The whole Europe is going to be a conflict region. 100%. Solaris, very ASMR. Thank you, sir. My pleasure. Good morning from New Zealand. Salutations, New Zealand. Sunni, you meant not Shia. Oh yeah, did I flip it around? Sorry, Sunni, not Shia. Yeah, Plutonic Polaris. I flipped it around. My apologies. Russia and China. Yeah. Sunni, Wahhabi, Shia, Iran, right? So the Azaris in northern Iran are Shia, not Sunni, right? Yeah, Miro is correcting me as well. My bad. You twisted them at the end. I twisted them at the end. My apologies. Chycho, how do you interpret the reaction of Russia and China to the Iran strikes by Israel and a little by the US? They did the right things, China and Russia. They're letting Iran take the front, do what they need to do. But they're there if Iran needs the help. And Iran, I think, has already started talking with them. Pink QB, thanks for the Azerbaijan explanation. My pleasure. Miro, ISIS is actually not Sunni. They are terrorists. They are terrorists. They're a part of the Wahhabi sect, right? That's what they are. Miro, Chycho, weren't the Armenians good partners for a while with the Turks and Ottoman Empire? No, not to a certain degree. They functioned within the Ottoman Empire, but they were treated as second-class citizens. And when the Ottoman Empire was going to flip, what did they do? They turned on the minorities and said, enemy, bad guy, right? Untold misery. If Romania can hold off and do its own thing, they'll reap the rewards for it. They will. But Romania is in deep shit. Look at the elections. The EU canceled Romanian elections. Like, they denied Romania democracy. That tells you where Romania is, right? Unfortunately. Pink QB, what can the US really do if they can't even defeat the Houthis? Is the US just a paper tiger? US can do scorched earth. That's what US does. They do scorched earth. But their abilities to do scorched earth is diminishing, decreasing, right? They don't have as big of a reach anymore, right? They did scorched earth in Libya. One of the reasons they were able to do scorched earth in Libya, because they were flying all their sorties out of Europe and out of Africa on bases, right? But since that time, France has been kicked out of Africa, or being kicked out of Africa. Russia is stepped up in Africa, right? But their reach is decreasing. Look at what they tried to do in Yemen, and Yemen almost sank an aircraft carrier. They lost 3 fighter jets. US lost 3 fighter jets off the coast of Yemen, and the Yemen is the poorest nation on earth, I think, right? So its projection is a paper tiger to a certain degree, but the United States can still do scorched earth. That is the problem, right? Tayo Kadaf Allah. I'm gonna say Allah. Erdogan wants to start the Ottoman Empire again. He does. He won't be able to. The Eurasian nations, the Turkish Eurasian nations, they'll never go for it, right? They'll never go for it. Untold misery. Democracy is overrated, in my humble opinion. Everyone getting to have the right to vote is madness. There needs to be skin in the game, or a competency test minimum. There is no democracy in the Western world. They canceled the Romanian elections. Look at the United States. The Democratic Party appointed Kamala Harris. Look at Canada. The Liberal Party appointed someone to be prime minister, really, right? So there is the facade of democracy in the Western world is gone. There is no democracy in the Western world. I don't think we've ever really lived under true democracy. Ryan MC, the grandson of the Shah, with uh, Palan palatial background, declared he would be the rightful leader of Iran. Yeah, yeah, the Reza Shah, right? The son of the previous Shah. He's a clown. He's just a puppet. He's just a Zionist puppet. Plutonic pillars also a different position on this week on the web. Some say Yemen danger for Israel, and the sea trade is already diminished. Sea trade is already diminished. Some say Yemen Houthis would be strong. Wonder what happened to the civil war there. The civil war, the United States and Israel attack Yemen. The civil war is done. Saudi Arabia is not going to get involved in that, because if Saudi Arabia gets involved with that, Yemen will annihilate Saudi's oil production. Done. Over. Right? So right now, all Yemenis, 90% of Yemenis, support the Houthis, from what I understand anyway. Yeah, Plutonic Plus, and that's they lost 3 fighter jets. Oh no, sorry. Pink QB says, I think the U.S. lost 20 plus UAVs to Yemen. Yeah, they lost a shit ton of UAVs, dozens, I think, a couple of dozen at least, and 3 fighter jets, and they almost sank an aircraft carrier. Wow, just imagine what Trump's base would do if Trump had lost an aircraft carrier to the Yemenis. My oh my. Right? Miro, we Sunnis actually believe the Armenians are nearer to Islam than most Azerbaijan. That's a weird way to spell it. They're cool because most are Shia, and the Christians are called people of the books in Islam from Sunni perspective. 100%, 100%. What's the story of the Shah and the secret police in Iran? Pink QB is asking. The secret police in Iran was called the Sabak, and the Sabak was trained by MI6, Zionists, and the CIA. And the Sabak was one of the most brutal secret police force ever, ever. Okay, they would arrest like they were actually worse than Saddam Hussein's secret police, right? They would kidnap people in the middle of the night and stuff like this. They would torture them, they would rape them. There was a story going around where the Shah's sisters were extremely brutal, and they would kidnap some of these men and use and abuse them in torture chambers, BDS chambers, whatever it was. And then when they wanted to get rid of them, they would fly them over helicopters in one of the deep lakes in Iran and just throw them into the lakes. Right? They were fucking brutal, man. CTE, I'm disappointed with Egypt. They have a powerful army and they're doing nothing over Israel. One thing Egypt did, they refused to accept the Palestinians, which was kudos to them, right? They said no, even though they're a Zionist puppet, Zionist CIA puppet, right? And then Untold Misery says Egypt can't do anything. They're beholden to Israel's good graces, to United States neocons good graces, which is controlled by Zionists. So they're beholden to Zionist Israel's good graces. However, if the time comes when Israel is its most weak and United States is its most weak, right, they'll be like sharks that smell blood and eat their own, right? So it could go either way, but if that happens, I think the war between Ethiopia is going to be kick-started, right? But the Egyptian people is a tinderbox. It really is a tinderbox, right? And there's secret service police in operations in in Egypt as well, and they are brutal. However, Egypt is a gigantic country, and it's a tinderbox. It's a tinderbox. My guess is Jordan might be one of the first monarchies, the Gulf states in the Middle East, to fall, right? And my guess is either the king will be assassinated or he will leave Jordan. We'll see. We'll see. Huge U.S. presence there. Again, tinderbox. But if the war kicks off with, if there's another attack of Israel with Iran, with the help of Jordan and Gulf states, I think one of the best moves Iran can make, because when Jordan has been fully supporting Israel's attack on Iran, and they have also been shooting down Iran's attack on Israel, shooting down the missiles, right? So one of the things Iran can do, if or when Israel and the United States attack Iran again, is not attack Iran directly, but hit Jordan fucking hard, hit the palace, hit the military sites, hit everything in Jordan, right? Basically eliminate the Jordan military, eliminate the Jordan monarchy, and hit the US military bases in Jordan. Create a fucking vacuum in Jordan, right? You'll see fucking people rise up and just get rid of the rest of the royal, all the oligarchs, all the royal family in Jordan, take over the US military site, right? So all of a sudden Jordan becomes flaming. I don't want to see that. I rather see peace. But if I was playing diplomacy, war board game, that's what I would do. I would hit Jordan fucking hard. Boom. At the same time, Hezbollah enters into Syria, because as soon as that happens, the Islamic fanatics in Syria might want to go into Jordan and start occupying that. Hezbollah goes into Syria, right? I don't know what the fuck the Kurds will do, right? I don't know what the Kurds will do. At the same time, Iraq goes up into Jordan as well, right? At the same time, you hit Golan Heights, occupied Golan Heights, and the greater region where Israel's occupying it, hit the Israeli military bases there. So basically, hit everything except Israel in Jordan and the Golan Heights, and anything else that is in Iraq, as well as hitting all the Gulf states. Just set it aflame, right? If Israel and the United States hit Iran, at the same time, Russia hits Azerbaijan, Iran hits Azerbaijan as well, right? Don't even touch Israel. Don't even touch Israel, right? Hit their puppets. Then we'll see what happens, right? The Russian name Israel will never fall, because in the Holy Bible it is said that they will return to will return to Jesus. But man, how much we will have to suffer until then. Well, I don't put too much emphasis on what the Bible says, other than what the fanatics want to happen, right? Blueprint. Let me read Plutonic Pluralist comments. Oh, the end of the what's the story of secret police? Yeah, Mira says, do you know about the end time sect of Jews? Shabbat, yeah, and born again Christian stuff, garbage. They're all fanatics, right? Plutonic Pluralist. It will be interesting to see. No, not that that's one of the factions fighting in this whole thing, right? They're some of the pawns in this whole thing, right? Plutonic Pluralist. It will be interesting to see how it goes in Iran. Rather, the citizens want to get rid of the theocratic government system in the coming months to years. They won't. Plutonic Pluralist. Or rather, the rally around the flag, and the Iranian government will have real ties with BRICS and develop economically and get military equipment from Russia. That's exactly what's happening. Plutonic pillars. That's my guess. Plutonic pillars. But hitting any large U.S. bases is a great risk for the state. This is a war of annihilation. If they play another piece where they're attacking Iran, and it would be a more brutal attack by Zionist Israel, Azerbaijan, Turkey, the Gulf states, and the United States, Iran will have no choice but to hit it fucking hard, like smack that shit, right? Smack that shit, right? Pink QB, it sounds like Israel is biting off way more than it can chew. Do they know what they're doing, or are they just arrogant? They're arrogant because it's not really Israel doing it. It's the UK, United States, EU, right? Zionists in Israel are being used as pawns in this move. They're cannon fodder, but they're fucking some of the dumbest motherfucking cannon fodders because they're going in there willingly, right? Yeah, Pal Sir, Azerbaijan oil pipelines. We talked about this about 20 minutes ago. I turned on some maps like this, right? Like this, oops, like this, right? Like this, right? We talked about it. Plutonic pillars. Key sects include services, the largest contributor accounting for over 60% GDP, including finance, trade, and government services. Industry contributes about 25% of GDP. With phosphate, who's this to? I'm assuming this is either Israel or Azerbaijan. With phosphate and potash mining, pharmaceuticals and manufacturing, notably textiles, this would be Azerbaijan, playing major roles. Agriculture, small sector around 4 to 5, focusing on olives, tomato. Oh, this is Israel. And citrus fruits, constrained by water scarcity. Yeah, and that's why they wanted the Golan Heights. Yeah, Thomas Erickson says the preparation phase has lasted 70 years. Lest we forget, right? Plutonic pillars. Remittances significant, with Jordanian expatriates, especially in Gulf countries, sending. Oh, this is Jordan. Okay, Jordan. 7 GDP, including finance, trade. Okay, cool. Remittance significance with Jordanian expatriates, especially in Gulf countries, sending back billions annually, bolstering household income. Foreign aid, a critical component, with Jordan receiving substantial grants and loans from the US, EU, and others due to its geopolitical role and refugee hosting. Yeah, they host the largest refugee Palestinian population, by the way, right? Jordan economy. Okay, thanks, Plutonic Boys. I connected with the last comment. Lonely Piggy, how are we doing? Hey, all. Chycho, what's on the snack today? The snack today is. I'm gonna. Fruit salad. Cut up a lot of fruit. I got 2 of these right now. 2 bowls like this. Got banana, got orange, got apple, got fig, got mango in this, right? Very nice. Nice hot sunny. Fig and fruit salad is amazing, by the way, again. Try it out. Fig and fruit salad. It's the bomb. So good. I'm eating a lot of fruit. Ton of fruit and greens and herbs. Like big time. And fruit and cigars is amazing. Reva, Chycho, I've been having a lot of strawberries and kombucha like you showed in your older videos. It's really good. Yeah. Super good, eh? So addictive. Dangerous. Angel, Gasper, Joe, hello, how are you doing? No dairy, lovely. Yeah, Elder God. Elder God is not into dairy. He's been pushing me stop eating dairy, and for some reason I just stopped eating cheese and butter and stuff like that. I just stopped my dairy consumption, except a little bit of yogurt every now and then, and it's not a daily thing anymore. So I've cut back on my dairy consumption. Huge. Pal, looking great. Perfect meal for this weather indeed. I'm starting to look younger already. Nice. First time chat on CensorTube, not on CensorTube, on Twitch. Jamo, jokester. Populism is taking over establishment politics in the West. Yeah, all over the place, really. All over the place. Jammer, Israel is a shadow state of the US. For protection, Israel is a proxy for America and the Middle East. A proxy of the UK, United States, and the EU. Yes, I agree in large part. You know, tail wagging the dog, or snake eating his tail. Where does it begin? Where does it end? Miro, did you hear about the theory that most Ashkenazi Jews are actually from the Khazar state, which were Turkic people? Yeah. Turkic, from Ukraine region, right? And there was Ottoman Empire in the Young Turks. There was a huge Zionist faction controlling that, right? So the rumor says most Ashkenazi Jews are actually Turkic descent. I thought it was more European descent. Khazarian mafia to a certain degree. Huge chunk are from Russia. First time chat. God's veiny pulse. Nice name. My question to the world is, how long should people like me, secular, how long should the secular community put up with religious wars? And if you don't think this is religious, you've been hiding under a rock. Religion is being used as the excuse to wage these wars. All wars are bankers' wars and resource wars. All wars are not religious wars. Religion is used as the excuse to wage these wars. And I've mentioned this multiple times, people have heard it who've been here for a while. Read Gulliver's Travels or watch the animation, the old school animation. The lesson we learn from Gulliver's Travels is this: human beings can be fooled into waging wars if the centralized power can use any excuse they want to create fanatics, rile up the population to wage war against another nation. In Gulliver's Travels, two kingdoms were waging a war over which side of the egg to break, the sharp side or the fat side, right? That's a lesson that was being shared through Gulliver's Travels. Don't be a fool. Don't allow centralized power to use our differences against us to convince us to wage war against someone who might have a different color skin, who might have a different color hair, who might have different color eyes, different side of the egg they like to break, different religion, different part of the world. It's centralized power. All wars are bankers' wars and resource wars. If the Middle East didn't have all those resources, do you think those wars would be fought there? Take a map of the world's resources, right? Overlay on it the map of the wars, especially imperial wars, right? Colonial wars that have been waged. They match. It is not religion, right? Take a look at Christianity. Different factions were created so centralized power could maintain its power, right? Could keep its power. Look at Catholic and Protestant, right? Look at Sunni and Shia. That goes way deeper, by the way. Ah, Ashkan, Khazar, Caucasus, Khazaria, then expelled to Bavaria and Bohemia. Really? Okay, I gotta go down that rabbit hole. That explains why Turkey and Azerbaijan are just Zionist Israeli puppets, right? Paul Sear, the Khazaris used to kidnap Slavic slave women through Crimea, and at this time there were very few Jewish families left in Eastern Europe. Then the population exploded, so I suspect a connection there. Yeah, yeah. The Ottoman Empire, they when they took over, when they were and the Young Turks, when they were genociding the Armenians, they would go into villages, kill all the men, okay, rape all the women, okay, kill most of the women and girls, right, and then take the pretty women and the girls and sell them off to the sultans, right, or the highest bidder, right? That's what they did, right? Angel chycho, what's your advice to someone who just moved out of their folks' place? I have my own flat now, but I feel kind of lonely at times. Laugh out loud. The silence kills me. I need a TV. Don't turn on your TV if you need the noise factor, and I do as well to a certain degree. Even though I love my quiet time, I put on lectures, and interviews from multiple places. So don't turn on TV. Don't expose yourself to advertisement. So make sure whatever you're watching, if you feel lonely, if the quiet is getting to you, if you put something on, put on an audiobook. Don't expose yourself to any advertisements, because that's brainwashing. You don't want that. You want a clean slate, right? Aside from that, go for long walks, right? Find a community activities you can get involved in, right? But appreciate your space and create a nice living space. Grow plants, right? Do something like that. I keep on letting the cigar go out, which is a no-no. Ashkan, the God Eaters, Khazarian Mafia, by Chuck's Windle Jr. Okay, cool. The God Eaters book. Yeah, book recommendation. Let me go. Angel on censorship chycho, I recommend you a YouTube channel that somehow went kind of viral, called Predictive History. Super cool. I might have seen something from there. Super cool stuff from a Chinese professor who talks about geopolitics. Yeah. I think they interviewed this guy in the Duran too, possibly. Thomas, Turkic doesn't equal Turkish, the latter being only a subset. These people originated on the steppes. Okay. Untold Misery chycho, as a person who has too much me, what are your views, ideas for a more minimalistic stance lifestyle? I'm the wrong person to ask, because I don't do minimalism very well. But from what I heard, sell things that you don't have an emotional attachment to. Declutter, from what I understand. Senior Unchained, ever try raw milk? Yeah, I have. Yeah, hard to get in Canada, hard to get, but I have a farm connection now, so maybe I'll be able to get. Jacob, thank you very much for the super chat on CensorTube. Jacob is asking, to what extent is the Kurdish situation in Iran and other places about self-determination as opposed to CIA project about dividing Middle East? It's about dividing Middle East. I know a lot of Kurds that believe, or I've talked to a lot of Kurds in the past that believe that this is about creating the Kurdish homeland, right? But Kurds already have a homeland. Who cares if it's called Iraq, Iran, or Turkey? That region is Kurdish, right? It's Kurdish people, right? But the Kurdish leadership is Zionist neocon controlled, and they've been using the Kurdish leader. And by the way, Kurdish leadership has multiple factions, right? The Kurdish leadership, right, has been making every wrong move, believing the Zionists and CIA and MI6 that they will have a Kurdish homeland with their own distinct borders recognized as in the UN, right? I personally wouldn't mind that, but they're going about it the wrong way. They're acting like a colonial state, like a colony, imperial state, but they're not. They're indigenous to that region, so they have to be at peace with the peoples of that region, not attack their neighbors, attack their people, right? So they're making the wrong moves. So I'm scared for the Kurdish community in the Middle East, because ISIS is not going to allow the Kurds to exist. Turkey, Erdogan, being a Zionist puppet and having a serious ISIS community there, is not going to allow the Kurds to gain power, right? And if the Kurds betray Iran, Iran is going to get rid of the Kurds in that region completely, right? And Iraq as well. So the Kurds are in serious deep shit. They're making the wrong moves. They should have cut a deal with Assad when he promised them autonomy if they would not fight against the Syrian regime, but they didn't take him on his offer. Now they're in deep fucking shit. There's going to be a lot of Kurds dying in the next little while, gang, unfortunately. Gang, there's a fair bit of comments on Censor Tube I read. Let me go back to Twitch. Pink QB, a bit off topic from the Middle East. Do you know anything about the Falklands and their oil reserves? Millet keeps banging on about making the Falklands all Argentinian. Yeah, I know a little bit about it, right? Thatcher is hated in Argentina, that's for sure, right? So just to give you a story about this, gang, I'm not going to read the comments for a second, but just regarding the Falklands, there was a Falkland War between UK and Argentina in the 80s, right? And I went to Burning Man I went to Burning Man like over 20 years ago, right? A couple of times. Went to Burning Man one year, and we had a picture of the royal family up, right? We're tenting. You're supposed to bring something to Burning Man. So I decided to print up pictures of the royal family, and I took darts, and I took a cardboard, right? And when we got to Burning Man, I set up like a flat board, and I put the pictures of the royal family on that cardboard, thick cardboard thing, and I made it like a stand, so it stood on the ground in front of our tent. I put the darts on there, and I put up a sign saying, "Kill the royal family and win a prize," right? And one day we're sitting in our tent, we're smoking away and whatever, chit-chatting and relaxing and stuff like this, and people would come up and every now and then grab darts and throw the darts at the royal family, and if they hit the royal family, I would go out there, right? Yeah, I'm Armenian, but I would go out there, I had my hat on, and if they hit I would look at them and go, "Oh, right, you won, you hit the royal family with a dart." And then I had tubes of Salvia divinorum, dried Salvia divinorum leaf, and I would give them Salvia divinorum. That was their prize. Okay, so every day, we have people walking by and throwing darts at the royal family. One day we're sitting there, and this guy came by and read it. He's like, "What?" He was with a 2 or 3 other people, and he read it, and he goes, "Wait, you guys go." And he grabbed the darts, and he stood there. Right? And then he'd go pick the darts, and then do it again. Pick the darts, do it again. Pick the darts, do it again. He did this. I watched him. And this is like hot weather, right? Middle of the day. I don't know what temperature it was, like 40 degrees, 45 degrees. I have no idea what it was. Just kept on doing it. So I went up there. I go, did you hit them? He goes, yeah. I go, oh, here's your prize. I go, why are you so interested in this? And this is Burning Man. There's art fixtures everywhere, so much stuff to do. This guy's spending like 20 minutes throwing darts at the royal family. And he said, I'm Argentinian. Okay. And this is for the Falkland Wars, for the war, for the Argentinians that the British killed, Thatcher killed. My brothers and sisters, along, he talked to him a little bit, right? Then I gave him a hug, and he went on, right? So, and why is UK interested in that? Because there's lots of resources there, right? Lots of resources there. Okay, I'm scrolling all the way down. Hold on, I'm going to read Platonic Pluralist little code because those are lots of information. God, I agree. It's always about money, and they put the label religion on it, but they would not be able to use religion if people were not religious to begin with. But then they would say, which side of the egg do you want to break? Those are pointy breaker egg breakers. Those are fat egg breakers. That's the point, right? Plutonic Pluralist quote. Official story seems to be this: the Khazaris were a semi-nomadic Turkic people who established a powerful empire in the Eurasian steppes roughly between the 7th and 10th century. Their empire centered in what is now southern Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan was a major commercial and political force. The Khazars' ruling elite and possibly a significant portion of the population converted to Judaism around the 8th and 9th century, likely as a strategic move to maintain neutrality between Christian Byzantine and the Islamic Caliphate. The extent of this conversion, whether it encompasses the entire population or primarily the elite, remains debated due to limited primary sources. Cool. Thanks for the info, Plutonic. Remo, there were less wars when it comes to volume under the caliphate in the Middle East than today. Am I wrong? Well, it was a brutal caliphate, so anyone that didn't agree with their totalitarian rules would be eliminated. Less wars, more tyranny. Which one do you prefer? I prefer freedom, right? I prefer freedom. God Pulse, I'm going to say, you will feel lonely for a while, but eventually you will get a family. Yeah, that's regarding, I forget who it was that said it. Yeah, just take your time, enjoy your downtime, get to know yourself. If you're just moved out and the quiet is tripping you out. One of the things I used to tell people is I work seasonal. Like, usually I've most of my life I've done seasonal work. I work my ass off for 6 months, and then I take a break for 6 months, or I work my ass off for 8 months, I take a break for 4 months. And I love it because the downtime allows me to connect back to who I am, right? So if you've been living in a household, living in a place where it's really noisy, you're interacting with a lot of people all the time, exposed to all their loves, hates, ideas and stuff like this, enjoy your downtime. I used to tell people that were changing jobs or being laid off or whatever it was, or moving locations. I said, look, minimum you need 3 months to cut your programming, for you to be able to think for yourself. So 3 months minimum of downtime, just your own time, is really good. Get to appreciate, understand, find what you really love. What you really love. Bob, I like some sources on Khazars. Sources, you know what? A whole bunch of people talked about this. One of the people is Cliff High, CLIF, and then High, HIGH. Find Cliff High. He's on Substack, but it goes under a different name. You should be able to find it. And he has videos online and stuff. He calls the Khazarians Khazarian Mafia, and he calls them the name changers because they changed their name. It's like the Mossad doctrine where it says we rule by what was it? Deceiving and concealing, something like this. That's the Khazarian Mafia. I'm Western Armenian. Yeah, Bob, Western Armenian. Barev Ishbesek. Iranian Armenian. Haha, Deflix need an advice special stream. I do have a advice playlist on CensorTube, right? I do have an advice playlist. Some of the stuff I don't put everything on there, but sometimes I remember, oh yeah, advice playlist, put it in advice. Right. Jamo Jokester. If Iran's Islamic Republic regime falls apart, any void that appears, the curse for a Kurdistan state will be the first in line. Yeah. But Iran's Islamic regime is not going to fall. Yeah, and Turkey would annihilate the Kurds. They wouldn't allow them to establish the state. Gandalf, Mr. Potter, how are you doing? Chycho just started investing at 28. A couple of stocks and few AI crypto projects. Nothing major. What advice would you give someone like me who is a beginner, wants to learn about finance and set up financial freedom when I'm older, retired? Play around with different markets. Play around with different markets, different systems, and get to know them if you're interested in it, and find out if you are interested in it. If you're not interested in it, don't get involved in that system, right? Because that consumes energy, right? Have a certain amount. You're only 28, so have a certain amount that's long-term investment, have a certain amount that's mid-term investment, and a small percentage, maybe 10 to 30% of your money that's high stakes investment, right? If you're so inclined to do. You don't need to do the high stakes, but you can. If you say you're in crypto, then you're high stakes. If you're in stocks right now, it's high stakes, right? So do a whole bunch of different things. Play around, see what you're interested in. If you have any hobbies, see if you can flip your hobby into money generation. It doesn't have to be investing in stocks or AI or buying gold and silver. Gold and silver, you should be buying gold and silver. If you have a hobby, right? And if you have a hobby, a lot of hobbies can be expensive. If that hobby is expensive, see if you can look at it, approach it in a different way where you can also generate a little income through that hobby. Because if it's expensive, that means you're spending your money, giving it to someone else, and they must be making money out of it, because they wouldn't if they weren't providing you with what you need as your hobby, right? So if you're interested in a hobby that is expensive, the odds are there's a way to make money out of it, right? To have some kind of income, or at least to pay for your hobby. That's an investment, right? That's an investment. If you like eating out, right? If you like eating out, that's expensive, going to restaurants and stuff like that. If you spend that money to go eat out, enjoy it, take about half an hour afterwards and write a little review of where you went, what you ate, take a picture. Maybe 2 hours it takes you. If you like eating out, then you love that experience, write about it. You learn about writing and blog about it. You learn about blogging, social networks. So you build a little community there, right? It's not going to generate money for you right away, but if you constantly do this, persistence is key. Persistence is key. That's a long-term investment. Later on, if you start getting some interest, maybe you can take all of those reviews you wrote, put them in a little booklet, sell them as a little manual for a certain city where you're eating out, right? Maybe you can hit up people for your food critic, go into newspapers or whatnot, share your review, syndicate your reviews. Maybe you could monetize your reviews. So that's just one example. It doesn't have to be something like that. It could be anything else, right? It could be anything else. Can this Plutonic Express is asking, can the Kurds only survive currently when they pay allegiance to the US? No, allegiance to the US is a detriment to their future existence. Kurds have been living in Iran for centuries. Kurds have been living in Iraq for centuries. Kurds have been living in Turkey under persecution for centuries, right? They don't need to have allegiance to the US, or put better way, be puppets of MI6, CIA, and Mossad to have a future. They've been there for centuries. Their existence is being threatened by their actions. Elder God, I'm going to blog my return to pub drinking. Dude, fantastic, Elder God. I think that's a great idea. Right? Okay, I'm scrolling down all the way to the bottom of Twitch, gang. I didn't see anything that was, oh, there's one. Senior and Chain Chycho, do you think that more people in the Western world will become radicalized because of companies like Palantir and other AI surveillance state? Yeah, but it's less radicalized. They'll just become dumber and dumber. Like a lot of people in the Western world right now are using AI to answer their questions. They don't realize AI is just fucking a program that Palantir, Google, Apple, Twitter, all these people have written, and they prevent them from sharing certain facts. So a lot of people are saying, you know, tell me about certain political event. It's like going to Wikipedia, right? And reading whatever Wikipedia says, but it's now their AI saying it, and they think that's fact, that's history, that's truth. That's not. So they lazy ass motherfuckers, right? So yeah, radicalized in their stupidity and their ignorance, right? But that being said, yes, 100%, there's going to be people radicalized. There's no doubt about it. And there are people being radicalized, right? A tribute to Gonzalo Lira. Gang, a tribute to Gonzalo Lira. There you go. I put this up a long time ago, right? When the Ukrainian government killed him. Okay. And I put on images on my OBS and removed them that I'm sharing. This one I haven't removed. Salute to Gonzalo Lira, man. True human being, really. True human being. It's a shame what happened to him. And it's a shame a lot of people were trash talking him. Okay. May justice come for those who killed him. Salute. He would have been sharing this with us. Moment of silence for Gonzalo. Salute to Gonzalo. Thank you very much for the super chat, Cosimoca. Salute. Salute. Rest in peace, brother. Cosimoca, what do you think about the mineral deal with DR Congo and the USA? United States is trying to solidify some of the connections they have to resources, right? They're losing a ton of resource connections all over the world, right? So Ukraine gone, resources there gone. BlackRock just recently said, okay, the fund that they had to acquire a lot of resources in Ukraine, they stopped taking money from it. I don't know what happened with the fund they created. I don't know how much money people lost, right? Out of Nigeria, the oil fields there and stuff, that's in dispute. No longer pipelines coming to Europe, right? The Middle East pipelines are slowly being cut, right? Azerbaijan pipeline refineries done, right? War is going to break out more so, right? China and Russia are stepping into Africa, so they're trying to cut their deals, saying mine, mine, mine. We'll see if it lasts. Unfortunately, that area is still going to blow sky high. I don't see an end to that region. Sleepy Waves, how are you doing? What did I miss? I'm not sure. You missed an hour. Hours? What time is it? Have you been going for 2 hours already? No way. 3 p.m. We started. We're already 2 hours? No way. What? Angel, holy base. Gonzalo Lira was hell of base, yeah, but Gonzalo played the wrong game, right? Played the wrong game. He shouldn't have stayed in Ukraine, man. He stayed because of his children, from what I understand. And when he was reporting during that period, we mentioned that Gonzalo should not be there. He needs to leave ASAP, and he didn't. Unfortunately, gang, never forget the lesson from Gonzalo Lira, right? Aside from all the advice that he gave and the work that he did and the politics, economics, geopolitics that he talked about and stuff like this, one lesson you can learn from what happened to Gonzalo Lira is, no matter who you are, how much money you have, and he was pretty wealthy, right? How much money you have, connections you have, how much popularity you have, whatever you have, one wrong move can take all of that away from you. Life is fragile. Treat it as such. Treat it as such. But that being said, Gonzalo Lira is a legend now, right? A legend. Is it worth your life to become a legend? Not for me. I'd rather stay under the radar or live a nice, happy, healthy life, being under the radar, enjoying my drinks, my cigars, my comic books, my family, my garden and stuff like this. I don't want to become a legend, right? Because becoming a legend is dangerous, as Gonzalo Lira found out. But one false mistake, one false move can throw your life into turmoil. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you make the wrong move. Hopefully, many times, angels are watching over you and they get you out of that situation. It's happened to me many times where, man, it could have gone so wrong. I'm so glad it didn't, right? So you have to have a little bit of luck on your side as well. Okay. Untold misery, chycho. That's why I don't back people who have, quote, beliefs as a system of self-governance. People can believe some of the dumbest crap ever, like that the poke was the moral thing to do. 100%. Bunch of dumbasses. Phantom, thank you very much for putting me in that legend category. I don't think so, and I hope not. Maybe, I don't know. Hope is silly. It's not up to me anyway. I do what I do because I need to do what I do. That's it. I don't have an alternative agenda in mind other than teaching mathematics to the world, which we haven't been for a while, but it's part of the game, right? It's part of the game. Overtime. We're definitely going overtime. MS Joan of Arc. Joan of the Arc says, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, gang. If you like the stream, if you like what we do, join our little community. I should do my little intro after 2 hours. Gang, I'm going to do my little intro. If you want to follow this work, we're on Patreon, Substack, Subscribe Star. You can follow the work there. We have a matrix space that you can join our little community. Okay, we went from 1,000 people on Discord to a few hundred on Gilded to less than 100 on Matrix, right? Because we stay fluid. Discord censored, we moved to Gilded. Gilded got bought out by Roadblocks. They're censoring. They will censor. They are probably censoring. I haven't been there for a while. So we moved to Matrix, right? Our whole thing is free speech. You want to join our little community? By all means, join our little community. Share your thoughts. We're live streaming on Twitch, on CensorTube, and on BitChute. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, we'll be live streaming a couple of other platforms. We upgraded our internet connection so we can live stream more, hopefully. We're on Twitter, we're on Minds, we're on VK, we're on Truth Social, we're on Substack Notes, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Gab, and we're on Getter and other platforms. Join our little community, and I hope you'll love what we're doing. And gang, salute to the Moz for being here, taking care of business, having our backs, and as Platonic Pillars and Elder God do, sharing as much info as they can, as we can, with their research while we do live streams, and as I read them, to inform me and you and us to what's going on in the world. Salute, gang, to all of you that come to these live streams. Share, like, subscribe, use, I don't know, what is it, every way possible. Salute, gang. Lark Bark, thanks, Chycho. As usual, have a pleasant day. You as well. Let's take these down. Let's take these down. We're going to be here for at least another hour, gang, because this is going to take another hour for me to finish up. And I think one of the reasons this is going out more often than not is because it's a little too moist, right? It's a little too moist. I kept it with in the bag with the moisture pack too long. So it's become a little too moist. That's okay. You just have to light it more often. Sleepaways, hell yeah, we're glad we're going to another hour. Nice. Fun. Oh, fun. Sleepy Waves, Chycho. What do you think about BlackRock accumulating gold and silver and going to be lending to nations with it when shit is the fan? Oh, I didn't realize BlackRock was also buying gold and silver. Yeah, I'm guessing they're diversifying from all their investments in the stock market. Be warned if they're buying gold and silver. Gold and silver is the safest place to park your money right now, as well as collectibles and stuff like this. It's not real estate. It's not real estate. Doink, doink. Let me do this for a second. Okay, good. God bless Bob is in here in CensorTube chat saying, God bless Israel. God bless humanity, man, if you believe in such things, right? But most of all, take control of your own life. Make the right decisions for you, but make sure you're not abusing other people's that have a right to live and live as they please, right? Without messing with your beliefs. Bob, please don't ask for personal information. As Bob asking for personal info. Hilarious. I guess that's what Zionists do. They want to know who you are, right? Why? Because Holocaust. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. Miss Miss Jonah of the Ark says the entire world is sacred, not just one place. 100%. Not just one color, not just one religion, not just one peoples, not just one age group, not just one gender. Simple. We all inhabit this world. Okay. Treat it as if you are the caretaker of this world and caretaker of your brothers and sisters, right? Yeah, there's gulls here. That means I'm near an ocean. Seagull sounds. The construction slowed down a little bit, right? It's growing tall, right? That's one of the ones we have, the tallest one. The other one that's supposed to be here, that should be just as tall, it broke. It's still growing, but we lost this much of it. Love the birds. Yeah, this place is amazing without the construction sounds, right? If I was into money and sharing my space, I charge admission into our patio. Take my hobby and make it money, revenue generating, but I wouldn't. But I do invite friends here, right? Close friends, and say, come, enjoy the patio. Sleepy waves, Chicho. I want more physical gold, but 1 ounce is 3,400 USD right now. Crazy. It might go to 34,000, right? Yeah, Bob, I'm in Canada. Everyone knows I'm in Canada. And I'll narrow it down for you. West Coast Canada, right? You're jealous of my plans? I'm jealous of me enjoying my plans. It takes some amount of work, but no, I like my plans. Check this out. Check this out. This is what do you call it? Seeds. Parsley seeds. My parsley plant is going to seed. Very delicious. Lark Bark said, Bob, no, Chicho lives in Norway. Yeah. You're doxing me, Lark Bark. No, Pink QB says, do construction companies usually work Sunday? Sunday? No, but these are neighbors that are doing constructions, renos in their homes. Well, it is what it is. What can you do? Sleepy waves, Chicho. If you buy silver on exchange like PAAS, do you think physically is better? Physically is always better. If you control your own physical gold and silver is better, but gold and silver companies, some of them are worth buying, in my humble opinion. No, you should have both. Sleepy waves, you should have both. Just remember, stocks you own on the stock market, they're not really yours. They're not really yours. Certain laws have been passed. You want to follow Catherine Austin for that. Catherine Austin and others have explained that any stocks that you own aren't really yours, right? You're giving the rights for a centralized exchange to hold those assets for you, but not in your name, in their name, and you're given a little bit of credit on it. That's the simplest way I can put it. So if they want, they can take those away from you. So be careful. Be careful. You can't have all stocks. Have tangibles as well. Thomas, I shouldn't mind the gulls. If I were a better man, I'd be glad for what they contribute and feel a calm when I hear them. But I'm a city boy. Haha. And by the way, a lot of people say humanity is killing every species on the planet. No, we're not. There's a rat boom, rodents boom in the world, crows boom, Seagulls, boom. There's certain species, cows, boom, even though we're slaughtering them, right? So there's certain species in the world that have seen an exponential rise in their population because of humanity, because we either use them or they use us, co-inhabiting a certain planet, right? So we're not bad for every species on the planet, but a shit ton of species. Gandalf, Mr. Potter, Chycho. Chycho, is it is it a Mars colony that Elon is building? Mars is great, man. Everything you've heard about Mars is a lie. Look at it, lush. Salute. Yeah, Pink QB. Times are hard. They must be attempting construction themselves. There's a lot of truth to that, by the way, Pink QB. Hiring someone for trades is extremely expensive. A lot of people are renovating their homes because they're thinking that the price is going to continue to go up and they're going to sell their homes because it's been renovated, but the prices of housing is dropping in a lot of different markets, right? Stabilized in some, dropping in many others from the peak, a lot from the peak in certain places, right? So a lot of people tend to do renovations, big renovations, before they sell a property because they think they can get more money out of it. That used to work pretty good, but not so much now. And man, I feel for you if you're dumb enough to take Trudeau's advice to put your expenses of your renovation on your house on your credit card, and you don't have the money to pay off your credit card because you're paying about 25+% interest on those debts, and your house is not increasing 25% per year. You're in deep poo-poo. Next time, educate yourself regarding politics, economics, and geopolitics. Understand who the puppets in power are, right? That's right. That's Lark Park. Lark Park was asking Bob, have you seen the movie? What about Bob? Funny, funny, funny. Funny, funny, funny. For Bob, it'd be better for Idiocracy, I think. The other cigar I have in the box should do quite well after I keep it there for a little bit of time. In the cedar, because this was a little moist, right? Bob says, who are the puppets in power? The puppets in power were the ones that are 100% all in for Middle East war while they're supporting genocide. Puppets in power are 100% the ones that want centralized everything. Okay, the puppets in power are the ones that are waging war on their own citizens. That includes the puppets in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, in EU nations, in the UK. Those are the puppets in power. Elder God, it's in the land of Chichonia, a realm between worlds where only decentralized things are allowed. I should say that. This is Chichonia. Ah, you just lit one, Sleepy Waves. Awesome. Salute, salute. By the way, I consider this meditation for me, right? This is calming for me because I consume a lot of news, a lot of information, maybe politics, economics, or other things, right? Health related, food related, or whatnot, and I share as much as I can, right? Small hats, small hats. Brandy, scotch, whiskey. Thomas, the pulp rolls better off the tongue than the powers that be. The pulp rolls off the tongues. Larkbark Bob, what do I apply for the puppets of power? They pay quite well From what I heard, indeed, indeed. Indeed, Bob. Elder, isn't that racist? Well, by who and for who? Paul said, because they certainly aren't serving most working class. No, they're not. The puppets in power right now in the Western world, they're not interested in working class people. Some of them have been bribed, some of them have been blackmailed, some of them are fanatics, right? One of the reasons why Epstein files were extremely important, because a lot of those people in power right now in the Western world have been compromised. How? By honeypots created by Mossad, MI6, and the Zionist neocons, right? They have our politicians, a lot of people in power in compromising positions, diddling little kitties, right? They have videos of them, right? Just imagine what would happen to their lives if they released these videos. Now, those mofos who diddle little kitties, in my humble opinion, they should work towards making great things great again by taking care of their own depravity, right? Personally, right? But they're not. They're throwing humanity to the wolves. Fuck them. Zero sympathy for them. Sleepyways, Chycho, why do you think that oil didn't go higher? I'm surprised it's down given everything happened. It's not really down. It's follow the charts. It's hitting it's hitting major support right now. Oil is on the way up. Oil is on the way up, right? Just think about it. Right now, Russia hit Ukrainian what do you call it, refineries. Iran hit Israeli refineries. So right there, two refineries that were refining oil for the EU just got turned off. That shit is not coming online for a while, right? Is oil gonna go down? Even though we're in sort of a global recession, is oil gonna go down? Hell no, it's not gonna go down. Why would it go down? Why would it go down? It might, but don't get me wrong, it might. But family money into oil going up, right? Plutonic porous. What are really rising nations and economies currently? All seems to have more or less problems currently. US has a relatively better situation and structure than Europe. Example, Asian states may also going into crisis 100%, demographics and other reasons. Africa is still only some few successful developing states, I assume, 100%. So European powers are collapsing. The European colonial nations, colonial satellites and colonial states are going scorched earth in areas where they're losing power, and they're instigating conflict in areas where they still have a certain amount of influence. Look at Thailand and Cambodia. From what I understand, there's a conflict brewing there. Look at India and Pakistan. From what I understand, there's a conflict brewing there, right? So there's conflicts brewing everywhere. There might be a moment where all of a sudden everybody plays their piece at the same time. It's like the board game diplomacy. You know, everyone puts in their movements and you read it all in one go. Everyone's movements at the same time. All of a sudden you're going to see a shift, right? It'll be instantaneous, right? The repercussions will last a while, and then there'll be another move later on. But that's what we're seeing right now. Yeah, Sleepyway saying, could be surprised. I feel like in this market, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And because countries, centralized institutions are desperate, they're making big moves in all directions, right? Look at BlackRock. They were pumping hundreds of billions of dollars in there, signed contracts for trillions of dollars, resources of Russia and Ukraine, all of it, trillions of dollars. Oops, that didn't go through very well, did it? No, it didn't. Oopsie. A pink QB. Should I start buying gold bars instead of putting money in the banks? Gang, in the Western world, they pass laws where your money in the bank is not safe. They could have a bail-in. That means if a bank institution is in danger of collapsing, they can take your money, a certain percentage of your money. Cyprus in 2008, what they did in Cyprus was a testing ground, right? They can do what they did in Cyprus, take people's money from their bank accounts. I forget how much, what percent they took from people's bank accounts, everyone, right? So if you have all your money in the bank, you're in deep shit, right? Make sure you diversify out of there. You need to have some money in the bank to pay your bills, live, have a little bit of money for emergencies, but don't keep all your money in the bank. That's foolish. That's foolish, right? Yeah, Plutonic Verse says we should prevent programmable money from happening. 100%. No digital currency. If your country goes full digital currency, take all your money out of the bank and put it in hard assets, because the depreciation of that money is going to be exponential, right? Diversify into tangible assets, right? And they can program your central bank. Meet says a chycho. Have you already discussed central bank digital currency, CBDC? We've talked about it a lot in the past, right? Central bank digital currencies are the downfall of humanity. That's full-on tyranny. If your country is going into full digital currency, digital IDs, you're in deep shit. Deep shit. Make sure you work towards establishing a power in your country that treats those people who introduced the central bank digital currency into your country, eliminated tangible hard currency, make sure you treat these people as an enemy of your society, as traitors to your nation. Whatever the consequences, the punishment is for being a traitor to your nations, that's who they are. So make sure you hold them accountable, and when the time comes, you arrest them, put them in jail, seize all their assets, do an investigation, find out who they were, who they took kickback from, and deal out due punishment. Okay. Yeah, and Bitcoin is a trap. What do you call it? Tether and cryptos like that, 1-for-1, that's a trap. Look into what's her name? I said it before, but I forget. Catherine Austin Fitts. Look into Catherine Austin Fitts Solaris report if you want to understand what's going on with central bank digital currencies, or central currencies digital currencies. Also forget her name. You guys know I'm bad with names. Monero is a good place to be. No, Monero, sleepyways. BlackRock is not going to go anywhere soon. However, they're going to lose evaluation, in my opinion. Catherine Fitts, yeah, Catherine Fitts. Catherine Austin Fitts. Bitcoin won't go much further, but there are useful tools run on Ether. Yeah. Whitney Webb, thank you very much, BSP. Whitney Webb. She does investigative reports into this shit. You want in-depth reporting on this? Read Whitney Webb. Watch interviews with her. Thank you very much. Yeah, XMR is garbage. Plutonic Flores comes into Whitney Webb, 100%. By the way, reading Whitney Webb, okay, what she wrote about Moderna, okay, she did investigative reporting about Moderna, was doing it when Moderna popped with the COVID mandates and injections and all this shit, the tyranny rolling out. I started reading Whitney Webb, and family started shorting Moderna stock when it was in, I think it was in the 200s, 300s, and 400s, pounded it at 400, right? And now Moderna is trading at like $28, right? So by doing your own research, reading these investigative journalistic reports and people who understand finance and what's going on and contradicting the hype, the pump that's being done on Wall Street, you can make some amazing financial decisions, right? Amazing financial decisions. Okay, keep that in mind. No, XMR is not the. Which one is which meme? No, Monero is not garbage. XMR is what do you call it? Oh man, I had it in my lips when you said it. I forget what it is. Again, I'm mix up my names. I'm sorry. I read a lot of acronyms and stuff like that. It's the main name that I need to connect it to, right? No, XMR is not Moderna. XMR is, or is it Moderna? It's the other symbol. That's which one is that one? Oh man, you're making me look at this up now. They're claiming Bitcoin is going to 1 million. It might. XMR is Moderna. Sorry, Monero good, not Moderna. Monero good. Okay, Monero good. If you want private cryptos, right? I don't know if it's going to go much higher. I really don't. But I don't. The first rule of crypto is you don't talk about crypto. But the main reason people hold Monero and trade Monero is because of the privacy aspects of it, right? Easy to confuse. Yeah, there's so many. It's easy to confuse them because I don't follow the crypto market on a daily basis anymore. I did 10 years ago, well, longer than that, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, 2010, right? I lost a little roundabout on this that fell through. There's a little seal that goes on, so the whole thing's exposed now, right? Oh, what is that crypto called? Okay, I gotta look it up. Sorry, gang, I'm gonna have to look it up. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Do I have my cryptos on this thing? Oh man, I don't think I do. Oh, I can go here. Which one is it? I was thinking oh, XRP. XRP. Am I thinking about XRP? Yeah, XRP. I think I'm thinking about XRP. Jesus, I gotta look this up. Ripple is garbage. I was thinking about XRP. Sorry, Ripple. I had the name when someone punched in X whatever. Ripple is garbage. Oh, Ripple, yeah, what about it? Garbage. Yeah, no, Mr. Parker. It has an insane community. It's central bank. Ripple is central bank from what I understand anyway, when I looked into it like 10 years ago, right? I have decent amount of XRP. No, well, they might do well, maybe not. It might go up, right? But as far as someone like me that is interested in privacy, decentralization, Ripple to me was the opposite of that. Salute, gang. If you're trading it, fine. Salute. The construction slowed down, eh? Yeah, no principles. XRP is decentralized. I don't know. Again, I didn't, gang, regarding cryptos, I was fully into it again 15 years ago, right? Cryptos is it. And I was pushing, promoting cryptos up to about 6 years ago. So full decade I was okay, cryptos, And if you were in cryptos, what we're talking about, you did quite well. But diversify if you can. Diversify if you can. Hence, the comic book buys we've been doing, right? Some amazing buys, gang. Some amazing buys. Woo -woo. Yeah, I agree. Not a fan of these centralization. Not a fan of centralization. Yeah. Now it's AI. AI is a pump and dump right now. Ripple is a wine. Ripple is a wine. Bob says. By the way, gang, in the last week on SensorTube, we've had about 700 plus new subscribers now. Okay, because for some reason we got we might have been pulled out of the shadow ban list on SensorTube. So salute to the 700 plus new subscribers on SensorTube in the last week. Thank you for joining our little community. I hope you enjoy the content. I hope you enjoy your stay. We do move around. We do a lot of things. I do need to upload, do an update to our opening little segments that we have on our channel, but we will at some point. But welcome to our little corner of the net. Hopefully we'll stay unshadow banned on SensorTube, and we'll see where we go. Salute, gang. Sleepy Waves, congrats, Chycho. That's awesome numbers. That's good numbers. But remember, those are the type of numbers we were getting 5 years ago before the COVID tyranny rolled out. And as soon as we spoke truth to power, right? We called it the way we saw it with the COVID tyranny rolling out. We were shadow banned up the yin yang. So all of a sudden the views and the subscribers, everything dropped, right? Maybe we're coming out of that. I don't know. So just imagine this kind of growth on our channel on SensorTube for the last 5 years, what that would have meant, where we could have been, right? Which I don't give a rat's ass about, tell you the truth, right? Because for me, truth, being sincere, being authentic is key to what I do online. I've been doing it for 20 years now. I'm not gonna change my way for clicks and subs. I'm gonna be who I am, represent what truth it is that we know, right? We're not gonna bend the knee to centralized power, right? For their fucking fiat currency. Fuck them, right? Stand up to bullies, gang, no matter what it costs. No matter what it costs. Gandalf Mr. Potter, I'm actually very curious how you found out about Bitcoin in 2010. I actually found out about Bitcoin in 2008 and 9. I found out much later. Is it certain communities in the web? What is it? So I don't miss the next Bitcoin. I don't think there'll be next Bitcoin. Wow, no, not true. Gold and silver to a certain degree is they should see a huge pump up, right? But I found out about it because I've been online for more than 40 years. Like, I've been active online when Unix, when you were doing on the green screen e-talk. So it wasn't anything that was hidden. It just had to be, you're not consuming corporate propaganda, corporate centralized propaganda. I was talking with people, going onto forums, decentralized forums, and that's where it's really at, by the way, gang. That's where it's really at. You don't want to be on social networks where things are censored. You want to be on forums. Like our little community, the Matrix server that we have, it's a forum. We're sharing information. We have a personal finance investing room on Matrix, and here's our Matrix server. Boink, doink, Matrix space. We talk about certain things, not only just in personal finance but everywhere else. You connect the dots, you go, what's going on? And if you knew about the build up to the 2008 financial scam that took place. Yeah, not Reddit. Phantom Man. There are some, a little bit there, but I only go to conspiracy forum now, right? Conspiracy subreddit, nothing else really, right? I've even been banned from the comic book subreddit, right? It's garbage, right? It's completely censored. You don't want to be in any censored forums, right? Private, not private. Actually, private is okay, but decentralized forums, that's where you're getting your information. And I was talking to people about Bitcoin back in 2008, 2009, 2010. I was trying to buy a spreadsheet of Bitcoin things, but I couldn't find anyone to buy it from. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. I realized a long time ago I'm gonna live my life according to my rules, not centralized rules. That's it. Fuck centralized power and fuck bureaucrats. They're the enemy of humanity, right? No matter how pleasing they look, right? Like, for example, I went to a festival about a month ago, right? We were tenting and stuff like this. It was like a festival with like 3,000 people, right? Multiple stages. My partner was played like 4 different stages. Lots of dancing until morning sunrise. Right? Having an amazing time. And on the second last day, I decided to take a shower. Right? We were there for 5 days. On the 4th day, I went, okay, the lineup for the shower isn't that much. So I went to take a shower. I was in the lineup, and there's this girl, lady, woman, female beside me that was after me, right? Pristine, like on most people's scale of 1 to 10, she'd be like graded as an 8, right? 9, looked amazing, right? She was like super hot. Oh. She was like, oh, I just need to go under the water for like 30 seconds. I said, okay, you know what? You go in front of me, because you're going to go for 30 seconds, just splash water on you with her clothes on. She was going to do, right? I said, you do that. And we started talking to each other and stuff like this. And she, we start talking politics, economics. I can't help myself. I talk about decentralization and anti-tyranny everywhere I go. I don't give a rat's ass, right? And I said, and government is the enemy of humanity, bureaucrats are the enemy of humanity. She goes, I'm a bureaucrat. I go, what do you do? She told me what she does. I go, you're the enemy of humanity. That was really nice to her. I go, you need to find another job, because your job might be cut because blah blah economics and stuff like this. She was like, what? So to me, even though most people would grade her, say, oh, she's an 8 or 9 out of a 10, right? I consider her a 1 out of 10, right? Because she's a low IQ little rat, and she's a bureaucrat, right? So be aware, right? The packaging doesn't matter. What's inside the packaging that matters. Beautiful. Gang, one more salute to Gonzalo Lira. Never forget him. Never forget what he shared. Salute. Plutonic voice. Maybe she lives wholly different since this encounter. No, it wasn't a long enough encounter for her to really get it, right? She was a red rat. These types of red rats I've encountered. I know a lot of these types of red rat. They can't rock the boat that they're in, right? Even the boat, it's got a hole in it, multiple holes in it. It's sinking. They don't want to rock the boat. I don't think she'll get it, because she won't. I saw it in her eyes. She doesn't get it, right? Unfortunate. Raspberries. I'm gonna go pick some raspberries from our little garden. Who are the enemy? Centralized power is the enemy. Bob. So, check this out. Some hyssop. It's like licorice. It's super delicious. Gooseberries. Like seriously, amazing gooseberries, right? Let me take off these little ends of them. These ones aren't perfect, right? They're tart. Like this is what I do when I come up to my patio. When you grow your own food, gooseberries, amazing, tart. Raspberries, right? Super good, super good, right? I got some black currants there that I can't reach right now. Blackcurrant hasn't given too many blackcurrants right now. Plutonic Plus, raspberry in the patio garden with chycho. The brings. Oh, gooseberries are golden berries when they're dried. So gooseberries are amazing, amazing. By the way, this gooseberry bush that we have over there has been in the family for 40 years, right? It was in one house that the family had that we sold like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And I dug up the gooseberry bush, moved it to another house that the family was living in. And it was there for about 5 years. And then when that house got sold, I took that gooseberry bush and put it in a gigantic big pot and brought it here. So this gooseberry bush is a family bush. It's gonna be with me unless it dies away. It's like 40 plus years old, right? It's gonna be with the family, with me until the end of my days. Hopefully it doesn't pass away before me. All right. Super good. Pretty soon we got oh, look at this. This has got major effects. Holy shit. Oh, hold on. I gotta go get a cutter. Hold on. Check this out. Black aphids. Watch. This is a garlic shoot, garlic. I forget what it's called. Look at this. Look at all the aphids on here. All right, black aphids. I've been harvesting a lot of these shoots. I forget what they're called. Let's see if we can focus on them. See that? See the black aphids, right? So this is what I do in my garden. If I see aphids like this, I get rid of them and throw them over the patio. Yeah, I don't see any more. That's good. There's a couple here, but I'll need to manage these fuckers. Oh yeah, there's some there. I'll have to come back and take care of them, but it's not as much as that one, right? Yeah, Cheryl, life takes over, right? Stevie was saying, where's Cheryl? I think she's, life. She's got a kiddo. Respect to people who have kiddos, man. Stevie, Chycho, what's your advice for aging healthy? Eat well, exercise. Yeah, Plutonic Blur says it. Quote, ants do milk aphids, including black aphids. Ants and aphids have a mutualistic relationship where ants protect aphids from predators, and in return, ants collect a sugar substance called honeydew that aphids excrete. 100%. So if you're growing something and you see ants around, look for aphids. So ants in general aren't good for a garden or good for your household, right? Shout out to Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl. She would appreciate this scotch that we're drinking. Salute to Cheryl. Very nice. Let's see, wait, Chycho, do you ever regret not having kids? And do you think you could still have done of the work you do with kids? No, I couldn't have done what I do if I had kids. And do I regret not having kids? No. I'm actually glad I didn't have kids. Salute. Thomas, do you think the aphids could escape if it ever turned abusive? Maybe. Your neighbors get aphids. Actually, the bottom parts get aphids, but aphids, they need. Yeah, these garlic shoots are a little bit of aphids in places, so I might harvest the garlics in this area sooner rather than later. Oh yeah, look at them. There's some there too. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, where's the wasps? Yeah. So I might actually harvest all the garlic in this pot in the next couple of days and just get rid of all this. I think that's what I might do. The garlics look amazing though. They're just beginning. So aphids you want to catch right away, right? Plutonic plurus, ladybugs. I need ladybugs. Ladybugs are natural predators of aphids and are often used in biological pest control because they can consume large numbers of aphids. Yeah, maybe I'll go get some ladybugs and bring them here. Let them go crazy. Yeah. Sleepyways, I saw CE breaking out again. It might come down a little bit, so I'm not going into it again. Family sold it and moved into PAAS, the silver mining, gold and silver mining company. But CE might go further depending on how it does, how it moves. Might buy into it at a higher price, but that's fine, right? Oh, Concur says, what do you feel about ice? Gandalf, Mr. Potter, immigration ice, so solid water, so or solid water, right? Immigration ice. I'm assuming that's what you're asking. I love Italian ice cream. You love Italian ice cream. Good gelato. Is it gelato? I think so. The cigar looks like a piece of poop. Does it? Don't smoke poop, gang. Only cigars. As far as ice is concerned, the premise of not allowing illegal people who have come into your country illegally is the right thing. Like there's a process in people migrating somewhere, right? If people come into a country illegally, it hinders people coming in legally, right? It's like shoplifters, right? Shoplifters increase the price of all goods for all people. Not that centralized, those companies aren't inflating the prices because they're using shoplifters and as an excuse to raise prices, right? It's like insurance, right? There are people that steal from people's homes, right? That's why insurance prices are high for homes, right? So yeah, I think thieves, those people who have entered into a country should be dealt with, right? Illegally. If they've entered into a country illegally, they should be dealt with according to the law. But ICE under the Trump regime is turning into a secret service policing agency based on the Build Back Better. Oh, it's not a Build Back Better law. It's a BBB law. What the hell is it called? Smack my bum. What the hell is it called? The BBB law that they passed, right? They're funding ISIS up the yin yang, so they're creating a secret service. A big beautiful bill. Thank you very much, Plutonic Boy. Big beautiful bill is funding ISIS, now a secret service institution, right? That after they're done with the illegal immigrants, right, people who have entered the country illegally, which I agree with, they're going to come after citizens because that's what Trump said. Trump came out, the Trump administration came out, they should denationalize anyone that opposes Zionism. Holy fuck. That's ICE, that's Secret Service. So they're going to start rounding people up based on their opposition to genocide, right? So all these names that they're using, it's all bullshit. The name of the game is decentralization of power. That's it. That's it. Or better yet, better said, decentralization of capital as power. And capital as power is a theory that Nitzan whatever put out, and it's about money ruling the Western world, right? So it's a long game. It's a long game. We have allowed these oligarchs, these technocrats, these neocons and Zionists to take control of our society, that are abusing humanity, right? That's all it is. Jonah's in the house. Jonah, how are you doing? Hey, Chycho. Oasis. Are there concerts of biblical what? Oasis. I don't know what Oasis is. Are there concerts of biblical experience, or are they rather too arrogant, addicted? Oh, not Oasis. Yeah, that's Oasis. Addicted guys focused on money and taking away other people's precious time. I don't know who those are. Who are they? I don't know who they are. Ukr. I feel like Unker. I feel like people who aren't criminal should be able to stay unless they do something wrong. I think anyone that enters a country illegally should be looked into, right? Like if you enter my home without me inviting you, I'm gonna kick you out. Fuck you. Simple as that. Like what's the problem here? I don't understand, right? Sleepaway Chycho. People talk too much about illegal immigration, but don't talk enough about the immigration system being racist and classist. 100% as fuck. Yeah. If NATO stopped meddling in other countries, people will also want leave and come to us. 100%. We talked about this, right? Like, a lot of people are complaining about mass immigration in the Western world. Well, fuck, your governments annihilated countries. They went scorched earth on multiple countries. So if you don't want mass immigration into your countries, if you're in the Western world, prevent your governments from waging war and destroying countries, right? Look at what they did to Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. Look at what they're doing in Iran, in the Middle East, all of Middle East. Look into Africa. Look into what the United States did in Central America and South America, right? For fuck's sakes, mass immigration is a result of neocon Zionist fucking practices. You want to eliminate mass migration, illegal immigration into your countries? Stop your fucking governments from waging war on all these nations, right? And one way to do it is not, like, for example, in the UK, people went into a military base, right, to stop the genocide in Gaza. I can't say they were right or wrong, but personally, that's not what I would do. If you want to stop the genocide in Gaza, the genocide in the Middle East that Zionist Israel neocons are conducting, the military bases are not your number one enemy. Your number one enemy are the technocrats, Palantir, Microsoft, Facebook, Google. Those are the fucking three of the top corporations that are helping the genocide in the Middle East. You want to oppose genocide in the Middle East? Fucking kill your Facebook page, right? Fucking do whatever you need to do, legally, of course, to all those four fucking companies and more, right? Occupy peacefully. I can't give advice on this shit, but know your fucking enemy. Know your fucking enemy. Look at Caterpillar. Caterpillar is one of the main companies in the United States that's supplying hardware to Zionist Israel to genocide Gaza. Fuck Caterpillar. Right? Fuck Caterpillar. Fuck Wall Street. Hey Bob, obviously you're pro-Zionist Israel, right? Here's a question to you, Bob. You just said half of Turkey was Armenian land. Here's a question to you, Bob. Obviously you support Zionist Israel because you said, I don't know, love Israel or some shit like this, right? Israel does not recognize the Armenian genocide. So fuck you. Right? Seriously, fuck you. Right? Jonah, Elder God, and lies. Explain, please. What do you... Please explain, Chycho. Who... Oasis is... Is that the band we're talking about? What is Oasis? I don't know what Oasis is, man. Only neocons want war. No, not only neocons want war. Zionists want war. EU wants war. NATO wants war. United States government wants war. Wall Street wants war. Bankers want war. Miners want war. No. I'll sing the blues on one night's platonic chorus. What are my honest opinions of President Trump? He's just a puppet, right? Some people give him a doubt. They say, oh, you know what? Trump is playing the card, you know, he bombed the Iranian nuclear site, which is illegal, war of aggression. Illegal, international illegal, right? Because he was trying to appease the Zionists, so he's trying to bring peace. Bull fucking shit, right? He's supposed to be in the position of the most powerful person on planet Earth. And he still bends the knee to a fucking Zionist Israel, tries to appease them. No, Trump has the ability right now to arrest all the Zionists in the United States that are waging war, genocide, right? He has that power, but he won't do it. Why not? Because he's fucking scared. Maybe he's on the Epstein list. I don't know. Sleepaways. I have some always slacks, but for me, Schlumberger is the only one, as we've talked about in our Gilder server. Right? Oh, we're down. We still got about a little bit to go, so we'll go. Angel Chycho, what will happen to Mexico now that the U.S. has taken a negative and antagonizing step against it? If you want to know what's going to happen to Mexico, look into who's ruling over Mexico right now, right? It's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot right now, because what's happening is United States is trying to solidify the control that it has over whichever region it has right now. Mexico being one of them, Latin America being one of them, Central and South America being one of them. There is opposition to that, right? There is opposition to that. We'll see where it goes, but it's a hard guess. It's a hard guess, Angel. It really is. But I would be careful of what was living in Mexico. Okay, salute. Yeah, Oasis is a 90s British band, 100%. Was one of the biggest bands on planet Earth at the time. They are getting back together this year to tour the UK, I believe. Oh, is that what they're doing? Oasis, yeah, I didn't know. That's what I know them from, but I thought it was something else. The person that was asking, I forget who it was. Was it BSP? What I think about them, it's okay. I mean, I really didn't get into them too much, but I know they were huge in the 90s. I had friends that loved them, but I never got into it. Never got into it. Bob, is Azari genociding Armenia? Yeah, they're genociding Armenians, ethnic cleansing, and they want to genocide Armenia. They want to get rid of Armenia, right? There's no doubt about it. And any Armenian that sides with Azerbaijan and Turkey against Russia and Iran is a traitor to Armenians. They should be treated as such. If I met an Armenian in person that was siding with Turkey and Azerbaijan in person, like, I'm against violence, gang. I have a lot of Armenian friends, or I've had a lot of Armenian friends. I've hung around the Armenian community. I'm Armenian, right, ancestry wise, right? I care for Armenia. If we're in a group and an Armenian came along and sided with Turkey and Azerbaijan on what happened in Nagorno-Karabakh and what Turkey and Azerbaijan have planned for Armenia, my brothers, Armenian brothers, know exactly what I would do to that fucking piece of shit that sided with Turkey and Azerbaijan against Armenians. I would fucking destroy them. Not physically, right? Wouldn't have to go that far, but I would annihilate them. Fuck traitors to your nation. I don't give a shit what nation you're in, right? I don't give a fuck what nation, what tribe you belong to. If you find traitors in your nation, deal with them accordingly. They are a cancer to your people, right? Bob, you're in with a lot of questions. You're collecting data. What are you doing? Bob is asking, are Khazars related to ancient Israelites? Ancient Israelites? No. Khazarian mafia took the name of Judaism to protect themselves against backlash because Holocaust, right? That's all. That's all. And if you want to know about the Khazarian mafia, look into Cliff High. Bob is attacking everyone on CensorTube. By the way, one of the reasons we might be getting some Zionist activity in our chat on CensorTube is because one of the reasons is one of the videos that we put out, segments we put out from our last live stream that we did, was a little segment I didn't think was going to get traction, but it did, because people are really fucking hating on Zionists, because everyone's in the world is watching Zionists commit genocide. And the video we put out was what I'm afraid of, what almost everyone with two brain cells to rub together in the Western world is afraid of, is all those fucking supremacist Zionist pieces of shit that are genociding Palestinians leaving Israel, that have dual citizenship, that have two passports, because Israelis that only have Israeli passport can't leave Israel, because Israeli government passed a law that Israelis, Zionist Israelis can't leave Israel unless they have another passport to travel out of Israel with. Video we put out is getting serious traction, right? In a matter of a week, it got like, I don't know, 15,000 views or something like this, right? And people are agreeing in the Western world, they don't want supremacist Zionists entering their country, right? They don't want supremacist Zionists entering their country. Here, I'll link up that video for you guys. Let's do this. Let's link that up. I'll link it up on CensorTube. I'll provide the CensorTube link, gang, because it's CensorTube that got major traction on it. Here's the video. This is the CensorTube video got a lot of traction, even though we are shadow banned. This is the video. Okay, this is the video. Okay, this video got a lot of traction on CensorTube because people are seeing the genocide happening in real time, and they fucking can't believe what Zionists are doing, right? And they're scared of Zionists, rightfully so. Okay, and it's getting around, and people's comments, if you read it on CensorTube, they're all like, yeah, I don't want those people in my country. I don't want those supremacists in my country, because they're supremacists. It's like Nazis, as I said, Bane's venom juice that pumps them up, right? It's crazy. Desiree, I sent that video you made on this to my friend in Greece. She can confirm they're buying everything they can. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's a lot of the comments on that video on CensorTube. A lot of people are saying their Zionists are buying a shitload of property in Cyprus, right? Gang, if you're in Cyprus, do not sell your land. Do not sell your property to Zionist Israel, to Zionists. That's what they did in Palestine. They bought people's properties and slowly they kicked out the indigenous population. They're gonna genocide you. Gang, as the saying goes, we are all Palestinians in the eyes of Zionists. Okay. First time chat. XNB, congratulations for being enough of a thorn to get the demon's attention. Yeah. Thanks. I really don't want the demon's attention. Really, I don't. But you can't stay silent when there's genocide taking place, gang. That's you, your essence, your soul, your morality on the line. Salute to those who speak up. Elder God, you taking care of Bob? I didn't read his comments. I don't know what he was saying, but Bob, Elder God, thanks for taking care of business, brother. And to the mods, gang. Salute. Shame Sock says, intolerant of intolerance is the best flavor of hypocrisy. 100%. Elder God says to Bob, come back next stream. And a lot of those people are reporting me to CensorTube, by the way. That's one of the reasons we get shadow banned, right? Because Zionists can't have anyone debating them, right? Calling them for what they are. Garbage people, man. Garbage. And I had one person come out and saying, calling out Zionists is anti-Semitic. And I'm like, dude, do the math. There are more fucking non-Jewish Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists. Way more, like an order of magnitude more, right? There are more Christian Zionists in the world than there are Jewish Zionists. There are Iranian Zionists, there are Greek Zionists, there are all types of Zionists out there. Zionism is an ideology. It's not a people. There are black Zionists, white Zionists, brown Zionists, yellow Zionists, red Zionists. What? That's how low IQ they are. That's how low IQ they are. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that they are making a mockery. They are spitting on the graves of Jews that were genocided during World War II. Fuck Zionists. Fuck Zionists. Fuck Zionists. Okay. Chalovic. Speaking of Israel, Chycho, what is your opinion on non-Zionist people who still live there? I would say get the fuck out. That would include Israeli Arabs, foreign workers, diplomats, journalists, clergy, humanitarian staff. Zionists are going to genocide you if you live in Zionist Israel. If you're not Zionist, that includes Jews, right? Zionism is a cancer on humanity, not just anybody that's not Jewish. It's a cancer on humanity. It's a cancer on anyone that doesn't support their Zionist genocidal tendencies, right? End of story. Good luck to you. Good luck. But all those living in Zionist Israel, you allowed these motherfuckers to take control. All those living in the Western world, you allowed these motherfuckers to take control over governments, including me. Do something about it, because we're all Palestinians in their eyes. Right? Jonah, Chycho, what is it? Name of God according to Torah and Jordan Maxwell. And the answer is tetragrammaton. Do you know that? No, I don't know that tetragrammaton word. I've followed Jordan Maxwell for a long time. I might have forgotten about it, but I don't remember that word. Macman, do you comment on my previous comment? It got lost in the swamp of Bob. Macman, let me look it up. Macman. I'm looking, Macman. Oh, there it is. Do you think Israel can ever be redeemed as a country in the next 100 years after what's occurred? No, I can't, Macman. Israel's done for, right? Israel's done for. Israel is collapsing, and is collapsing hard. Zionists are detested. But here's the thing, gang. Keep this in mind, since this came up. Okay. One of the reasons Zionists in Israel are doing what they're doing is they're hoping that anti-Semitism around the world is going to kick up. And I hope it doesn't, because I have Jewish family, and I have Jewish family that are against Zionists, and I have Jewish family that are pro-Zionist. Fuck the ones that are pro-Zionist. But I have Jewish family that are anti-Zionist, and I know Jewish people that are anti-Zionist. What Zionist Israel and the neocons are trying to do is force the entire world to turn against, hey, there's a kitty cat, turn against Judaism, unfortunately, because Zionists have attached themselves to Judaism, right? And they're hoping that all Jews from around the world will move to Zionist Israel. That way they can create the Greater Israel Project, right? I can tell you from first-hand experience, from talking to people who are talking to Jews that are anti-Zionist and knowing Jews that are anti-Zionist, they will never live in Zionist Israel. Never, ever, ever. They're opposed Zionism, right? But that's what Zionist Israel and born-again Christians are trying to do. They're trying to get all Jews from around the world to move to Israel. It's not going to happen, right? The other flip side of this is this. One of the reasons, keep this in mind, take this with a gigantic grain of salt. One of the reasons that China has been the main trading partner with Zionist Israel, and Russia didn't, the backing of Syria and stuff like this is complicated, because Assad sided with the Arabs, unfortunately, because he should have known there were Zionists that were going to overthrow him and take over the country. He was foolish enough. He was burnt out, my guess, right? But one of the reasons what's happening in the Middle East, China and Russia are okay with it because they're getting rid of their fanatic Muslims in their countries, and they're moving to Syria, right? So China and Russia are dealing with their Islamic supremacist ISIS fanatics by opening up a little area where those people will move to, and they are, right? So what's happening in the Middle East, you're getting a lot of shitload of Wahhabi ISIS fanatics taking over a region, creating a caliphate. Now NATO, Israel, Zionists, neocons believe that they'll be able to control that ISIS fanatic caliphate that's establishing itself as a cancer in the Middle East by getting them to fight against Iran, right? So China and Russia are okay with this because they're going to be backing Iran, and there's no way those ISIS fanatics will be able to overthrow Iran. And at some point, that puppet caliphate that is being created as being a proxy for MI6, CIA, and Mossad is going to turn on them and burn the Middle East in towards the western region, towards Israel, right? At some point it's going to happen. Is it going to be in a year? I don't think so. Is it going to be in 5 years? Maybe. 10 years? Maybe. 50 years? 100%, right? If they last that long. So we'll see where things go. It's scorched earth in progress. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Elfida, how are you doing? Will Iran give their answer in the future, you think? Elfida, give their answer in what way? Oh, there's a first time chat. Oh, I read that. Elfida, in which way? Elfida, yeah, Iran is extremely powerful right now. I pity the fools that wage war in Iran, especially Azerbaijan. XNB, Judaism might be the most anti-Zionist teaching anywhere. 100%. The biggest, the most adamant, the most the community that is speaking out against Zionism the most is the true Jewish community, right? There'll be a lot of people say, "Oh, Jews, blah blah blah." Fuck off, you people that are confused enough to think Zionism is Judaism, right? Zionism is not Judaism, right? The people that oppose Zionists the most are Jews. Unfortunately, they're a minority right now because most of the Jewish community that was educated in Israel or indoctrinated in Israel is the same type of people that were indoctrinated in Turkey, where they don't recognize the Armenian genocide. They think Armenians killed the Turks. The Jewish community, the people that are growing up in Israel right now, their education system, their whole system is based on indoctrinating them into the Zionist mentality, right? But the people that oppose Zionism the most, the ones that have been opposing Zionism for the longest period of time, are Jews. So stop hating on Jews. It's Zionists that you want to oppose. Okay, it's Zionism that you want to oppose. And remember, the United Nations called Zionism as a racist ideology, and in the 1970s, the United Nations came out and classified Zionism as a racist ideology, right? In 1991, they overturned that and said Zionism is not a racist ideology. Why? Because the Iron Curtain fell, everything was in flux, and the Zionists were able to pass that, repeal that designation through the United Nations because Zog, right? Crazy on social media. Yeah, meme meet. Yeah. And in my opinion, Mean Meat says this: anti-Jewish propaganda is going crazy on social media right now. Yeah, and you know who's doing most of that? Zionist Israelis, right? Because they want Jews to move to Israel, and any Jew that knows what Zionism is not going to move to Israel. You got to be out of your mind if you're going to move to Israel, right? Alfida, answer after Israeli and US attack on Iran. I think Iran unjustly lost more innocent lives and damage. 100%. The hit on Iran was hard, and that's why most Iranians, 90+% of Iranians now support the government and they will stand against us, right? Because Zionist Israel, MI6 and CIA, they blew up car bombs in Iran, destroying buildings with men, women, and children in them. Who the fuck justifies that? Oh my god. Talk about being stupid, right? Ricardo V, is Israel invoking end times prophecies and they think God will save them? Yes. Certain fanatics in Israel are, certain fanatics in the Western world are, as are Christian Zionists. Christian Zionists are the most fanatic fucking, aside from Zionists, Christian Zionists are the most fanatic tribe that we have in the Western world, and there's fucking more than 100 million of them. We have a serious Christian Zionist problem. Oh god, we have officially entered Chycho Extreme Edition. Are we into 3 hours plus? We're into 3.5 hours. God dang. Oh yeah, what happened to my cigar? 3.5 hours. Am I gonna edit this video? I don't know if I'm gonna have time, or take segments out of this video. I don't know. I might not take segments out of this, but we'll see. Salute, gang, to you for hanging around for 3.5 hours. Super fun. This is calming, believe it or not. This is calming. Talking about a lot of things that we need to talk about. Lone Wanderer, hey Chycho, what do you make of BlackBerry pulling assets out of Ukraine? Russia is going to take Odessa, and there's going to be, if they don't take the rest of Ukraine, there's going to be, if you want, Russian puppet regime put into power, and they're going to eliminate all the Nazis in Ukraine. But what their Nazi government in Ukraine is going to do, they're going to pick up shop, take all the hundreds of billions of dollars that they stole from the Western world and Ukrainians. They're going to establish a base in Brussels, and they're going to be a government in exile. So what BlackRock is doing is saying, fuck, we lost Ukraine, right? I hope that, I'm going to look at the charts, but family might start shorting BlackRock stock. Desiree, it's been pleasure being here, Chycho. Thank you. My pleasure, Desiree. Thank you for being here. Salute, salute. Elder God, patio where time does not exist. Indeed, indeed. Alfida, Chycho. Alfida, my grandfather always said that there will be no Israel on the world map. Yeah, I don't think Israel is going to exist either, to tell you the truth. What they've done now is irredeemable. They can't live through this. And everyone pushing a two-state solution, there cannot be a two-state solution. There has to be a one-state solution. Sleepaway Chycho, BlackRock owns a lot of things that are pretty diversified, 100%. However, they own a lot of shares and a lot of high pump and dump stocks. So once that goes, BlackRock will go. We'll see. I'm not recommending shorting BlackRock, by the way. I'm not. But it is what it is, right? Lark Park. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on your stream, Chycho. It's my pleasure, Lark Park. Thank you very much. I wish I could have you guys in person here, but I don't think Patio is big enough to host everybody. Jonah, Elder God, do you see my message? My question, Chycho, what is Name of God according to Torah and yeah, I don't know that name, Jonah. And the way Jonah's spelling it, I'm gonna spell it out so people can look it up. Tetragrammton. According to the Torah, that's what Jonah is saying. The name of God is Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton. More than a time killer. Yeah, Thomas, I'm not here. Actually, I do create content as I used to create content as time killers, ASMR. Just chill, just relax, right? But we are in amazing times, right? Interesting times, as the Chinese proverb says, right? So we have to do what needs to be done. All this snow, the rocker snack. I've been eating fruit. Actually, I haven't had some of this fruit. We ate some of our berries from the patio, but I made a whole ton of fruit. We got, check this out. I'm gonna get everything. We got fig. We got orange. Come on, orange. You got mango. I gotta get a mango in here. And mango. Oh, I already have a banana, but it's okay. And I'll get an apple. Check this out. Oh, I lost my mango. I made a fruit salad with. Let me see if this is focusing. Oop. Let's see if this will focus. There we go. Is it? Oop. There's apple. There's banana. There's orange. There's mango, and there's fig. Right? Oh, I lost my fig. I don't want to lose my fig. Oh, I lost my apple. What did I lose? I lost my mango. I can't get it all in one spoon. One fork. Very good. Figs in fruit salad are amazing. Figs in salad are amazing. It's so good. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. John Zuck. That looks yummy, he says. It is. And it goes amazing with this. Really. XNB. Tetragrammaton is the name for the name. It also precedes Hebrew. Cool. Lone Wanderer. It's Hashim in Torah. Is it Hashim? Chycho. Have you ever tried to learn Mandarin? No. I just know a few words from high school. I went to high school for 3 years in a Catholic church, and there was a lot of Chinese, I believe Hong Kong, but some from mainland China, students there, and I learned some Chinese swear words way back in high school. Like we're talking like fucking long time ago, right? And I really liked my Chinese friends that I had there. They were fucking hilarious, man. They really love me too. I get along with all nationalities, all religions, all cultures. Doesn't matter to me, right? It doesn't matter to me. If you're a human being, I love you, right? Some of the words were Batsi. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this right anymore. Batsi, Deole. I'm brutalizing these things. I used to walk around to them and go, Deole. I didn't laugh. Sometimes I play poker with them. We used to play soccer together. At parties, like I was one of the group in our high school where I made friends from all different factions of a high school, the way it could be clique or whatnot. I would talk with all of them, right? I don't care what your religion is, what your philosophy is, what your cultural background is. The only thing I care about, if you're human, if you care about other human beings, that's it, right? That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Salute. Hello God, did I pronounce those things right? Patio. There was a few other ones I knew, but I forget. The, oh, I forget. I wish I knew some of those Mandarin or Cantonese swear words. I don't know which one was what. I really don't. And they were like, they were hilarious. Like their families would send them over to Canada, or Canada in a private. This is like 1980s, right? To be educated in Canada, and they were living in a house by themselves, and we'd party together. We would throw a party and have them come over, and they were like, they were fucking hilarious. One of them was John Ho. He had a gigantic beer belly. When we played soccer, he would, instead of heading balls, he would hit him with his tummy. Nice guy, man. What a fucking nice guy. What a fucking nice guy, man. I can tell you this: the Chinese, were they friends in high school? I guess they were friends, but they were high school. You're sort of hanging around, you're talking stuff. But the Chinese, let's call them friends that I knew back then, right? All of them were amazing. I really loved, really respected my Chinese and Hong Kong at the time friends that I knew in high school. They were so nice, so kind. They were really good people, man. They were really good people. I can't tell, dear God, I can't tell you what you said. Hilarious. Hilarious. John's like, I can't stand people that don't care about other people. 100%. Ricardo v. Chycho. Will there be civil war in Europe, or is the US first? What do you think? Europe. Europe. Unrest in Europe. Let's call it civil unrest. Oh, I can't get this going. We're gonna take one more puff out of this baby because it's delicious. Michael, self-preservation, awakening. I'm out of here. Unless useless distraction, spewing verbal diarrhea. Message from Sensor 2. Michael, I hope you have a good ride. Bye. Thomas Erickson. Keep in mind there are statements, viewpoints, phrasing it would be unwise for a host to speak out loud on Sensor 2. That's if they even agree or see them, especially when under examination. Oh, agreed. Jones like says rest in peace Michael, or Michael rest in peace. Hilarious. Lone Wanderer, yeah, Ireland crazy. Glad to be Irish descent. What a people, what a people. Salute to the Irish, gang. Salute to the Irish. Huge respect to the Irish. Love it. I'm glad we lasted through the construction. Sheeple, Michael. Distracting sheeple, hilarious, Michael. You should check out my repertoire on Sensor 2 while you're here. Take a look at what we've created, and then we'll talk. Salute to the Irish culture, Irish. Indeed, indeed. Lamas. Who disturbed the discussion? More so than the belligerent name caller. Now you can hear kids playing. Beautiful, beautiful. Elder God, Mike Sheeple. Chalovek Motaya. In your experience, how addictive are cigars compared to cigarettes? Oh, dude, you can't even compare. You can't even compare. Like, we're going through our spring summer season where we're smoking cigars. Once this is over in the patio, I don't smoke cigars. All right. So, not even. Not. I don't inhale this. I don't inhale this. It's a meditative thing for me. It's meditation. John Zuck. I got half an ounce of insanely high quality organic cannabis flowers in Maine for $40. For $40. The deal in Maine are absolutely the best in the world. Nice. Finally. Finally. Now, so Michael comes in. He says, I see your BS content. No solution ever discussed. Dude, check out, if you're Michael, if you're still here, and I'm assuming you are, check out our personal finance playlist on SensorTube. I provide a shit ton of solutions on the personal finance playlist. Check into it. Also check into the advice playlist. There's a shit ton of solutions in there. Also check into the mathematics playlist. I have like 4 or 5 math playlists: language of mathematics, math in real life, ASMR math, trigonometry, how to study. Check into that. Shitload of solutions and all of that, man. Check into mapping global conflicts live streams. Shitload of solutions and all of that, man. All of that, all of that. Just name of the game, solution, decentralize. If you don't know what that means, then you don't know what it's at or where it's at. Right? One more. I'm enjoying this. I even tempted to do another cigar. Taking us down to like brutal. Only men take it down this far. You gotta be crazy to take it down this far. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Thomas, what would you prefer if any of us use those words? Oh, where is it? Jonah. Oh, I missed it, Thomas. Baby nights, cigars, especially the ones Chycho smokes, are 10 times better than cigarettes. Cigarettes are full of perfumes, additives, and other bullshit. These more bullshit. There's more bullshit than 100%. Like cigars, there's a reason I continuously have to relight this, because this is 100% organic tobacco. End of story, right? There's no chemicals in this. Like if you light a cigarette, it'll continue burning until the end, even if you take a puff or not, right? That's a cigarette. That's full of chemicals. This is 100% organic tobacco from Cuba. You know how they control the pests in Cuba for the tobacco harvest, tobacco plantations, is with spiders. They don't spray them with anything, right? 100% organic tobacco. That's it. This is ritualistic. Appreciate this. What we're doing right now is ritualistic. Tobacco has been used by the indigenous populations of the Americas as a healing plant, right? And corporations came in and they turned something that was healing into something that was the biggest killer in the world, right? This is not the same as cigarettes. This is a ritualistic healing tobacco. It's a meditative thing that we do. Okay. Elder God linked up something. I don't know what that is. Amen, baby knights. Amen. Exactly. Rolling tobacco is a fair middle ground with the light brands. Indeed, Thomas. Indeed. Make sure it's organic, gang. Make sure. Look, if you're consuming something into your lungs, if you're consuming any root vegetables, root plants, or herbs, or anything like this, organic, organic, organic. You don't want that pesticide in your body. Michael, look, I see what I offer and get rid of this dribble. Okay, Michael, you're still here. Good. There's a reason why you're still here. This is the last little puff we're going to do. Beautiful. XNB, any opinion about Elon Musk's new party? Kudos. When all this stuff happened in 2020, we said the best thing that could happen with the United States of America is if the duopoly, which is really a one-party system, the Democrats and the Republicans were split into multiple parties. We're seeing that happen. Hopefully Bernie Sanders comes out, or someone else comes out and creates another party as well. Right? Shame socks. I vape in ritualistic tribute to my AI overlords. Baby nice. We got double stream today. As Ice Cube said, today was a good day. Today was a good day. Today was a good day. Distract the subscribers from becoming self-empowered, So Michael is saying this. Check this out. I'm here to watch clowns distract this subscribers from becoming self-empowered, self-reliant, and self. That's the essence of our content. Decentralization, Michael. Learn it. Learn it. Thomas, well, technically you're on someone else's stream being all negative. So to Michael, yeah. Yes, we got double stream today, and I said, good. How do I know you're not the 3 fed? Funny. Gang, let's call the stream. Fun. We almost went 4 hours. Good stream. Gang, thank you for being here. Salute for those of you for the stayed for the full stream. Thank you for the discussion. Thank you for sharing your time with us. It was beautiful. Okay. Salute to the mods. Salute to all those that support free speech. And as always, salute to those who are about to die. Bye, everyone. I'll see you guys on our Matrix space, if you can make it. And I'll see you guys online. We'll see what we can do about live streams in the next few days. I hope you have a fantastic week, fantastic rest of your Sunday. Bye, everyone.